Hey, let me see here. Hello, hello. Hopefully everybody will jump back in. See about the... Oh god, where... I need the bloody help. Did it send it or not? Is it... Yes, okay, I'm live here. OBS is on. I need to reopen my... Son of a bitch. I need to... No, don't close it. I just need you to bring up my actual screen. Hello, Diamond. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we had some issues getting started up here, and I can't get my PNG on the corner. Just give me 1 second here. Can we please... Task Manager. Come on. Why will it not let me do that? Why will it not let me do that? Okay, that's loud. Holy shit. Oh, God, it reset all of my settings. Okay, we're just gonna drop that down. I don't even remember what I had it on. We'll up the voice volume slightly. Apply that. Okay, but seriously, I need to access my fucking... Where is it? Bring up this. Open up this. Where is it? No, not that. Not that. Where the hell did I load it? Okay, hold on. Close. Open this. Hide the UI. Reopen that. Jesus Christ. Can't win with this. Okay, that's there. That's showing up there on the stream. Good. And now it's loading properly. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Tenwin. I saw that that was one of the solutions, but it did not... I don't know. Nothing else I tried was working, but apparently the reset worked. So we're a little bit behind, but hey, that's what it is. We're just going to immediately jump in because, okay. I'm trying to get my mental state back in whack because I was very worried that everything had gone to absolute shit. Thank you all for rejoining. Thank you all for coming back. We're just gonna dive right back in. Why is my camera here? Okay, there we go. Where were we? Right, we now need to convince everybody to join in with Vladim's little coup attempt that he's gonna be pulling off here. There's gonna be a bunch of people to talk to. And there's also gonna be stuff to loot. Doing well, Stylish, doing well. I know I need to get back to you about that concept art thing that we were talking about before. Sorry, the end of yesterday and today obviously has been not exactly me at my best. Why are these gas canisters counted as... Okay, yeah.
I always keep my options open.
So we got here. Ooh. There we go. Order for a barricade to be assembled out of the rubbish.
Nothing matters more.
Yep, we'll do that. Are Rise's people back here, or is she hanging out somewhere else in the bar? She's hanging out somewhere else in the bar. Citizens. Pascal, get that thing up and running. Oh, I'm pretty sure we did that one back when we first came through here. I can't imagine that it would. Citizen, workers, nobody I need to talk to. Is the visual quality fuzzy? Hold on. Because nothing's showing up on... Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Yeah, stream is coming in very fuzzy. What the hell? Whoa. Yeah, is anybody else having that same issue from Bad Recce? Hold on, let me move the camera on here. Let me try to bring this up on... Yeah, why is it showing up on Twitch as fuzzy? It's very fuzzy. You're streaming at 2160. I shouldn't be. That's not my desktop resolution. What the hell? Well, I mean, 3840 by 2160. Yeah, but we streamed that yesterday and nobody had any problems, did they? It's setting through OBS. Hold on, hold on. Oh my god, I didn't change anything. Why is it? No, not that. Settings. Stream. Output. Video. Video output is currently active. Please turn off any... Well, yeah, but that's not... That shouldn't be the problem. Like, again, everybody who was here yesterday, was there any problem? I haven't changed any of my settings. Is there a problem with my internet? Jesus Christ, what the hell? The bitrate appears to be stable. And again, I'm not seeing anything on my OBS settings or my stream manager saying that there's a problem. Yeah, Diamond was right. I was streaming at that as well. And I mean, you can drop the quality down to the 720p. And again, we weren't having any issues like that last time. Nothing's changed on my computer. The actual in-game screen looks fine for me. The OBS screen looks fine for me. It's only Twitch that's having an issue. Even when I up the... Hold on, let me pull that open. No, keep it full size. Let me actually see the Steam. I want to see how it's looking as it's coming in. Jesus Christ, yeah, it's horrible. You can't even make out the chat. Like, you can... It's barely readable. What the hell? Okay, there's a little bit better. It's... At least the chat is readable now. But as soon as I go back into the game, it gets fuzzy again. Oh my god. I don't understand why it's doing this. It shouldn't be doing this. Hold on. No. No, nothing in there that can change that. Capture specific window. Capture the window for Rogue Trader. Do it at full resolution. Yeah, that's not the issue. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, resolutions match. No downscaling required. I changed these settings on Saturday when I was fooling around with OBS for the Sunday stream, and everything worked perfectly fine on the Sunday stream. So I don't understand how it... Video encoders to their preset. I don't... That doesn't... Stream? No, there's nothing. There's nothing that there's... I have no idea what's causing this. Hold on, I'm gonna pull out of the menu option again and see if that... God, it's horrible looking. I am really sorry about this, guys. I don't know what I can do. Oh, wait a sec. What? Wait a sec. Hold on. I'm just not gonna move. I'm just not gonna move. Okay, so the quality's much better if I'm not moving the camera. I mean, I get that that's probably obvious, but if I move it a little, wait for it to catch up. God, it artifacts like shit. I don't know what's causing this. The bitrate's stable. Everything's been working good. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know what I can do to fix this right now. Did you update something? Not that I know of. I didn't even tell my computer to update. The only thing that updated was when I started up my computer this morning, Steam downloaded its usual updates for other for other games, but nothing that touched my OBS, nothing that touched my in-game settings, nothing that touched my graphics card settings, nothing. Jesus Christ. It's aggravating as shit. Yeah, apparently, Tenwin, I can't really think of anything else. Stats, multi-view. No, I don't need any of that. What I need is to figure out. I don't even know where to begin with this. No one. Decent. Hold on. 60 FPS. Get it. I've got more than enough. I should have more than enough speed for that, unless something happened to my internet. I don't know. Like my bitrate is saying that it's good. OBS is reporting all in the green. Sometimes with Steam unable to play anything last night. Even so, it's so strange. It's also weird because OBS is recording it just fine. Like that's why I didn't understand when you first mentioned it. The OBS screen is perfectly fine. There's no issues there. But God, the artifacting is bad on the screen. I really hate to say it, guys. We might just have to grin and bear it right now because I really want to play the game. And I'm here's hoping that at least when we're in like the turn-based strategy part, things aren't going to be as bad. I will just have to figure this out at some point. I just don't have time. I was already planning on trying to make up for the 10 minutes or so we lost trying to figure out how to get it running. I can't be resetting again and having to go even further because I'm not going to have time to get ready for work. So I guess we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I am. I'm going to have to monitor it through the Steam manager because if I try to watch it through OBS, nothing shows up there. Yeah, I guess we're... Okay, we're just gonna keep... I'm gonna try to keep moving. I'm trying to stay positive.
Unexpected result.
Yeah, we've done that event before. I don't know why it's making us redo them.
Have a backup plan.
Well, thank you, Kato. That makes me feel a lot better, at least. But I need to figure something out with this shit. That's for sure. But let's just try to focus on the game for right now. Hopefully it'll get better. Maybe we'll get lucky and the internet will just decide to work later. That would be great. Let's just grab this loot and keep moving. We need to convince Hieronymus and we need to convince Ryza and Octaviana to... Oh, is that the chaplain? Is that the guy from the, Yeah. The imposing man covered head to toe in scars is hard to mistake for anyone else. It's the chaplain, confessor to the late Denza Biliardo, whose funeral now seems like an eternity ago. His arms are crossed as he surveys the room with a gloomy expression. As you approach, he bows deferentially. Your lordship, it's nice to see that St. Drusus has protected your neck from the heretics in Xenos since we last met. Shame how it's always sad events that seem to bring us together. The last time at a funeral, and now it feels like half of Footfall's going to need a memorial service. It's been a long time, chaplain. What are you doing here? Same as always, your lordship. I bring the Emperor's light to the lowly and to the downtrodden. And you must know that I have my hands full here on Footfall. The station is teeming with hungry, maimed, and frightened people. His large fists clench into twin mace heads. Her ladyship in Kenja Chorda and her righteous seal doesn't see the atrocities her enforcers commit in the shadow quarters, using her name as their shield. I intervene where I can, but to be honest, I'm almost spent, and helping everyone here is simply beyond my abilities. How fares the den's young heiress, Lady Adelia? A warm smile brightens Chaplain's rough features. She is safe and sound in my care, your lordship. Truly, barely any time has passed, and I already think of her as my own. The girl clings to me. She's took to learning the ways of voidfaring with gusto. She's already better at the numbers than I am. She's a true trade captain in the making. I hid her somewhere safe. Right now it's a bad time for anyone to be on footfall. She's seen enough woe and bloodshed as it is. More than enough. And what's your opinion on the situation on the station, Chaplain? The chaplain jerks his chin up defiantly. Honestly, perhaps this began as a cleansing. Might even have been worth it. But since day one, it's looked more like a frenzy of fanaticism. People with a clear conscience have always been few and far between on footfall. But is that a reason to exterminate everyone for the pettiest of infractions? St. Drusus himself teaches us to bring people back to the Emperor's light and only punish by death those who've crossed the forbidden line and turned away from him irrevocably. I am my own living proof that even a thoroughly rotten scoundrel can walk the Emperor's path of redemption. Are we in such deep retreat from heresy that we're battling with the Flamer and the Noose are the only tools we have left? It's a shame that the Reverend Hieronymus won't listen to me. He's too zealous. He sees the face of vice too clearly and finds it too abhorrent. Looking at footfall, I know makes him sick, and so, deep down, he welcomes the cleansing. May St. Drusus help you and your comrades, your lordship. No.
Let us not dawdle.
It's nice to see that was at least, that he's at least still doing what we need, doing some good work. Octaviana looks tired, but finds the strength to smile briskly. Oh yeah, good, because we delivered the food to them. She pours 2 shots of a clear, yellowish liquid with streaks of promethium in it and slides one towards Ryza. Let us drink to her infallible ladyship Chorda's mercy and good judgment, wherever they may be right now. Ryza downs the shot, grimacing in satisfaction. You have quite a way with words, Octi. Indeed, one would hate it if Lady Chorda's ill health affected our own. Have you by any chance run into Lady Chorda's good judgment on your journeys, your lordship? The pirate turns to you, laughing hoarsely. Do you have anything strong, Octaviana? For you, my lord? Always. A dustly but finely made greenish bottle with a wax seal suddenly appears upon the bar. This is Lord Winterscale's favorite blend. So good, it's not entirely legal. However, during your last visit, his lordship told me to put a bottle aside until his return. And who knows if he'll ever return here now. Would be a bit of a waste. Well then here is to Lord Caligos's health and his foresight. If there's anything in the world her infallible ladyship hates more than us, it's Caligos Winterscale, so I'll join that toast. How well have you been faring without me? Badly, my lord, but we're in no mood to lie down and die yet. There are still people who can't stand Chorda's regime, and they are fighting. A sting a day, always somewhere new. Vladim may be on the run, but you'd be surprised how many people he still has loyal to him. He'd have had more if it weren't for the Reverend Hieronymus. A lot have fallen for his sermons, taken to repenting and confessing. He's turned a lot of them back to the faith that they won't dare touch him. The old man's a force to be reckoned with on the station now. Octaviana lowers her voice. Vladim has let the station slip away from him. Sure, he's got plenty of people still on his side, but even more aren't happy about it. At least, not least his business partners. Should something happen to Takara, come here. Your dealings with the Kasballica shouldn't take a hit because of the old liege lord's ambitions. Interesting. This is in direct contrast to what Vladim told us. Ah. And you're not afraid the enforcers will come here? Octaviana smiles tenderly. They show up, I blow the martyr's endurance before I let those butchers take me alive. And for now, I'm behind the bar, refueling my roughnecks. It's a rotten thing for a captain to abandon her ship, wouldn't it, your lordship? Some captain, if I were you, I'd scram while the scramming's good. Oh, I know you're attached to the Amasecus, but this hole ain't worth dying over. I've got a shuttle hidden away. We could take off right now. Give it a rest, Ryza. I'm not holding you here, so stop trying to drag me with you. Ryza, you and I need to have a little chat. Ryza casts a glance in Octaviana's direction, waits for her to take the hint and looks away, then says, At your lordship's service. You see through the pirate instantly, and you sense that the burden of her transgressions is so heavy that will soon drag her under. Her fear has allowed a malicious will to sink its claws into her soul and slowly tear it to pieces. Wow, you need a fanatic iconoclast to pick her up with this one. Shit. We just might not be able to do any of that then. Vladim and I need your help, Ryza.
Your lordship, his so-called plan is nothing but the death throes of a cornered and condemned man grasping at imaginary straws. The Vakemo was once smart, shrewd, wily. Now he's simply refusing to admit he's already lost. We modest dealers are no match for a rogue trader. It'd be different, of course, if we were strongly motivated or perhaps had a rogue trader of our own on our side. Ryza looks you right in the eye, her meaning quite clear. What is that, 3 profit factor? Honestly, 3 profit factor isn't even that bad. Ooh, okay. I see. Spoken like a cowardly crone and not a dread pirate. Ryza's eyes flash and she scowls. Do not talk to me like that, your lordship. The times we're living in, barely anyone in the Expanse remembers who old Ryza is. I'm not getting any respect anymore. I guess that means they need a reminder. And they're going to get one. Fuck it. What the warp. My crew and I will help take part in your little uprising, but don't ask me for details. Old Ryza prefers to keep quiet about the behind-the-scenes working of her own insidious and sudden strikes.
Ryza, your soul seems full of corruption with every glance that I take upon you. You have not fallen in with the arch-enemy, have you? The pirate's eyes narrows.
So what, you're like her ladyship now? One look, you think you can tell the wicked from the righteous. I suppose it's easy enough to guess that a pirate has a misdeed or two to their name, but no one has ever accused me of serving the arch-enemy before. You wound me, your lordship.
As much as Ryza's tried to turn it all into a joke, there is anxiety in her eyes, and her hand is reaching unconsciously for something concealed under her shirt on her chest, as if she's trying to further hide it from your gaze. Damn, I really wish we had enough for that. I'm interested in your wares. I don't think there's anything we can really give them. No. Melee, ranged weaponry, Xeno artifacts we can hand over because there's no reason not to. There we go. Alright, so we at least managed to get Ryza on our side. How far away am I from... Oh, I'm only 14 points away from Fanatic. Fuck, really? Man. Oh, I'm so close to it. Alright, well, we'll talk to Octaviana next. Octaviana, we do have a plan to stop Chorda. The help of you and yours would be appreciated. The woman looks at you pensively.
And by we, you mean you and Vladim, because he always has a plan, but it's certainly not always the best plan. Why should I trust in your idea?
No, I'm going to use the iconoclast. Gesture at the people in the room with a sweep of your arm. This is not about whose idea it is, but who we're doing it for. The people of Footfall. For you, Octaviana. For your in freedom from an insane zealot's reign of terror, who abuses the words of the ecclesiarchy and the words of our emperor for her own sake, to assuage her own soul or to indulge in her own insanity. Either way, it must be stopped. The patrons greet your last sentence with an enthusiastic roar. Your heartfelt speech has resonated with many of the commoners and seems to have stirred Octaviana too. I suppose you can be persuasive, your lordship, and you're right. You're ready to risk your life for us, and here I am, being picky like a noble offered a Nutribar made of corpse starch. Alright. Count me in. Sweet. Once per battle, the rogue trader may choose an ally. The target ally may immediately use the heroic act without spending momentum. Nice. And that got us 20 iconoclast points. We don't have many fighters, but I do have several shipments of Xenos weapons. Lethal, but no guarantee of quality. Figuring out how it even works is tricky enough, but it still beats the junk that Vladim's thugs are armed with for the most part. They can have a round on the house. Wait, that should mean that I have enough... Aha, I do. Sweet, that was perfect. Ryza, the forces you have opened yourself up to will be your undoing, and what's more, your crew too will pay for it with their souls because of you. I'm begging you. If you've even considered taking the side of the archenemy, stop now. You may be a pirate, you may be a scoundrel, but you are still a daughter of Terra.
You are still a child of the Emperor, as we all are. Stand with us, and be safe in knowing that your soul will not be claimed once you have died. Rise's expression turns to stone. She peers tensely into her glass as if trying to find some answer at the bottom of it. Finally, she raises her eyes to you, looking incredibly tired. You know, you're cruel, your lordship. The way you found where this old pirate was hiding her conscience and dragged it kicking and screaming into the light. I got in over my head and almost took most of my men with me. I'd be a crap captain if I allowed my fear to kill my crew. Thank you for the esteemed self for talking some sense into me. You have a light? The pirate casually rips some kind of amulet from around her neck, bearing a fanged beast crowned with thorns. She tosses it into her nearly empty glass of rotgut and throws the match you offered her after it. The contents of the glass are immediately engulfed in an unholy purple flame. A minute later, all that remains is ash and a nasty puddle of black metal at the bottom. Satisfied with the result, Ryza smashes the glass on the floor. Then we have nothing more to say. Oh, sweet. We actually managed to save somebody from the dark gods. Through the power of, don't be a total dick. Okay, now we've got to deal with... Oh, there's some more stuff over here.
I didn't?
At least it will conceal... The shoddy cover will offer little protection against a well-aimed shot, but at least it will conceal... Let me see. Hieronymus, we dealt with them. Oh, there's something over here in the corner I missed. Aha. Gimme. Just some basic cargo and some more basic cargo. Thank you.
Is there money to be made?
Alright, now we see how we deal with Hieronymus. I imagine we won't get the option from him to use it, or to use our status, because he's a dogmatic. You would need dogmatic in order to convince him.
The Emperor protects young von Valencius. What has brought you here? Perhaps you would like to confess. Repentance is the first step on the path to redemption.
And I'm surprised to find you preaching here, among the rebels.
It is not rebels that I see. I see fools, malefactors. Their weakness made them reject the law of the Imperium, who are in need of repentance and instruction. Had I come here earlier, perhaps I would have been able to prevent the heretical insurrection. What do you see, rogue trader?
I see frightened people. Some trying to save their lives, some trying to save their profits. Many of whom, though, do not deserve the cruelty that Chorda has treated them with.
You are entirely right, but it is not their lives they should be saving. It is their souls that are truly in peril.
Reverend, my task here and now is to stop Incendia. I'm asking you to help me.
Are you openly declaring your intent to move against an enactor of the Emperor's justice? And why should I, her mentor in faith, help you commit such an act of treachery?
Because her actions, her very deeds upon this station since she has taken command, fly in the face of all that you believe, what you truly believe, Hieronymus. Incendia's world, the place she's trying to build, has no place for redemption, no place for mercy or for penitence. Would the sight of such a world please your eyes? To watch as the people of Footfall, who you could have saved, are dragged one by one to the pyre, not because they crossed the line that is inviolate, not because they succumbed to the lies of the arch-enemy, but because of the wrath and ambition of one mortal woman. Can you really look me in the eyes, Hieronymus, and tell me that that is a world, that is a church that you wish to serve in? Hieronymus's eyes are slowly filled with a bitter sadness.
No, it would not. I've always known that my way of serving him has been different from many paths trodden by the ecclesiarchy. But it was St. Drusus's doctrine that taught me virtues that are unknown to many among the high ranks of the righteous. and I in turn taught them to my brothers and sisters. I tried to teach them to Incendia too, but she has chosen a different path. You are right. It is time for me to remind her of those lessons. I thank you. You have banished my remaining doubt. I will do what must be done. Saint Drusus's faithful shall aid you this day.
Thank you. And goodbye, Reverend. I don't think there were any other... Hold on, let me double check. Because we set up a... We used those supplies for a barricade. We set up the other thing. There's no skill checks over here at all.
Oh god, the artifacting is so bad. Why?
Just glanced over at it and it's driving me nuts. What is that? Order... Oh. Oh, wait, what? I literally was just over there and it didn't show that. Order that the fuel barrels be placed throughout the room.
Impossible for this old
There we go.
I always have a backup plan.
Yeah, we're gonna do one last circuit around the room, make sure that we got everything. But yeah, we took the supplies from there. There's nothing else in Rise's room. We did Rise and Octaviana's conversations. There's nothing over here. Both of those were not... Oh, isn't that the guys that we, the mutants that we helped free? Yeah. Okay.
Rise to the top.
Oh, that means the guy who was probably keeping them in cages probably got killed by Chorda, given that he's set up, like, right in front of where she's setting up now. Alright, I guess we'll talk to Vladim. It looks like things are about to kick off. Your lordship? Vladim slides his glasses down his nose and looks up at you. His eyes are tired, but alight with anger. I see no issue now with letting Incendia know you are here. Get ready. Your enemies will be here soon. I will send my least important associates to the entrance. They will bear the brunt of her forward assault. That will thin our guests' numbers. Without thinking, Vladim reaches for his pistol to check how easily it slides out of its holster. Then he smiles. It has an easygoing, far younger, and far more bloodthirsty of a smile. I had almost forgotten how much I love these. Stay where you are and lay down your weapons. We are here for the criminal Vladim Tokara and all accomplices. Members of the heretical gang, lay down your arms and face the righteous justice. They'll hang us all. Don't trust them. Make the holy soldiers bleed. Down with the hangwoman. I hoped you'd say that. Enforcers open fire. Justice for Chorda and the Emperor. Wow. Congrats, Vladim. The best your guys managed to do at the front door was to soak up bullets. Oh, she's brought a group of enforcers. She's brought a personal psyker. That's interesting, given her proclivities. Flame rages in Chorda's furious gaze as she surveys the bar. Her figure seems to exude a ruthless radiance, cruel like the scorching sun of a desert world. Rebels and heretics. I, rogue trader Incendia Chorda, master of footfall, defender of justice, order you one last time to lay down your arms. Harsh justice awaits those who surrender, and an ignoble and painful death awaits the rest. Vladim slowly removes his pistol from its holder and says in his lazy drawl, Incendia Chorda, I, Vladim Levakemo, I'm ordering you to get off my fucking turf before I blow your brains out and throw your corpse for a goddamned loop. Repent, Incendia. As the canons of St. Drusus have instructed, you have thrown away the right and ability of the people to repent and save face within the eyes of the Emperor. You have strayed from the path of righteousness and have allowed yourself to be turned into a monster in his name.
serving not the God Emperor nor the Imperium of man, but your own ambitions and your own wrath. Lay down your arms. Incendia raises an eyebrow and asks in a concerned voice, "Has horror driven you out of your mind, Savani?" I have seen your thirst for blood firsthand. You devour the flesh of your fellow man, claiming it gives you knowledge. You revel in the sentencing and executioning of the people of the Imperium, not for justified crimes of the Lex Imperialis, but for your own pleasure. Are you really going to dispute that after what I saw in the atrium? Do you really think that I am lying? True, but High Gothic is based off Latin, and Latin often uses a hard K sound in place of a C. And I like how it sounds with that. Incendia Chorda. That's just a personal thing. It's like Julius Caesar instead of Julius Caesar. Sorry. I'm very bad with foreign languages, and I took 1 year of Latin, and that is like the one thing that stuck with me. Oh, I'm sure it's meant to be Incendia because of, yeah, Incendiary. Tenwin, I'm not disputing you. I'm pretty sure you're absolutely correct. I just like pronouncing it differently because I like the hard K sound that shows up in Latin, and knowing the Imperium, they would use a Latin style pronunciation for like High Gothic style names. It's just a personal preference. Plus, I think incendiary is from a Latin root word in English, so technically we're both right? I don't know. You are not lying. I do enjoy it. And your verdicts bear no relation to the codified justice of the Imperium. Your justice has become arbitrary, creating your own law, in essence, your own Imperium, and we both know what the proclamation for such a crime is. For that is heresy. For a rogue traitor, the ultimate crime is to reject the Emperor's protection and make their reign absolute. To claim to be a brazen rival of God. To be a blasphemous, tyrannical heresy. I used to know how to pronounce that name, but I don't anymore. That title, but I don't. Tyrannical heretic. We're just going to go with heretic before I break my brain trying to do that. Incendia lowers her head. The shadows in the room seem to darken. The radiance slightly fades from her eyes. Enough. Enough. I repent. I repent. I yearned to serve the Emperor, but in exacting vengeance upon his foes was so delicious, I abandoned my duty for the sake of gratification. I made footfall my house of pleasures. I was a harsh judge, not because of what he wanted, but because of what I wanted. I executed those his law forbade to execute. Putting oneself above the Emperor is the most terrible act a rogue traitor can commit. I have lapsed into heresy. I must be condemned. Judge me, Savane de Ferenzi von Valencius. I who have strayed commit myself to his mercy and his harshness. Mild Slaaneshi vibes. Well, that's because Slaanesh is the god of excess. I definitely don't think Incendia is a worshipper of Slaanesh or falling to Slaaneshi corruption, but Slaanesh definitely gains power from people acting on their most extreme impulses, which is what Incendia has absolutely done here for the better part of what seems to be a couple of months at this point. It's the same thing with a lot of the Chaos Gods and the way the Emperor is worshipped. Excessive devotion can become Slaaneshi-like in its pursuit of perfection and absolution. If you continue like, oh, you probably absolutely could. She would constantly be seeking that high of righteousness, which is still an extreme. It's still an indulgence. It's a personal indulgence. It would not lead her to... She wouldn't be the traditional, ooh, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of Slaanesh. No, it would be much more the adrenaline rush of having someone's life in your hand and being the one to control it. Being the one to decide life and death for no other reason than you can. Her eventual corruption would eventually lead, as she even kind of indicates here, that she would stop caring about there even being a crime to justify her sentencing. and it would just become sentencing for the sake of the pleasure it gave her of feeling and controlling someone else's life. How the end of that would look like I could easily see it being like it would be her set up as a queen, but not this decadent court queen. No. It would be regal and refined, but it would also be insanely dangerous. It would be insane in the mad queen kind of fashion. She would issue proclamations to have her servants dance for 15 hours, and if they danced for 15 hours in 1 second, off with their head. It would be just utter madness, all to feed her own ego. Slash like extreme would go into body. Like she wouldn't even need. Well, there could be things there, but it wouldn't be the traditional like hooks and piercings and stuff. I could see it instead being like she would get like facial reconstructive surgery to make herself appear perfect, and then she might declare that every one of her servants must have a specific type of facial augmentation or something like that, forcing each and every one of them to do so. And any who refused would, of course, be put to death in horribly painful fashions. Yes, I could imagine her going much closer to something like Sigvald than the traditional Slaneshi, as I said, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of style.
Speak your crimes, Incendia. Let all in attendance hear them.
Arrogance. Arrogance born of the heart and trampled over my sense of duty. To forget the Emperor's commandments, which are as strict as they are merciful, and became a bringer of death, and death only. I was not serving the Imperium of humanity. Within this place I built a pitiful parody of his grand creation.
Do you have anything to say in your defense?
I only dreamt of being a worthy servant of the Emperor, of doing his will, of punishing his enemies, of turning this corrupt and decrepit place into something worthy of his light, and does not diminish his greatness.
You are indeed lucky, Incendia Chorda, for this verdict shall be lenient, as you are a rogue traitor and a servant of the Emperor. I, Sovane de Forenzi von Valencius, head of the von Valencius dynasty, protector of the von Valencius Protectorate, ruler of Dargonus, Foulstone, Phobos 6, Kiavagama, and Janus, hereby declare and banish you from Footfall. Go, return to your worlds, return to your people. Prove yourself a worthy and loyal servant of the Emperor. Depart now, and do not return.
The Russia profession, the favorite unit, British Painbringers, polished armor, flawless combat, but if any fault is found, they're driven to ruthless rage. Yeah. Again, Games Workshop has definitely tried in the last few years to steer Slaanesh more towards perfection and more towards just the extremes of people who are, I guess, the way of obsessions, and less just the raw sex and drugs angle. And to be fair, if you want to go that angle, the Emperor's Children still exist in 40k, and they are just all of that turned up to 11. Exactly. That being said, I would be miffed if they, like, say, got rid of demonettes or redesigned demonettes. The whole point of the demonettes is that they're supposed to be this weird amalgamation of attractive and ugly. That's their whole gimmick. But maybe diversify Slaanesh's demon roster as well. Add new demons that are a bit different. Don't take away the ones we already have. That's always my issue. It's the same reason I'm still kind of miffed at the Primaris. I don't dislike the Primaris for what they are. I dislike the Primaris because they took away other things that I liked. And the last thing I want is the Chaos Demon players getting that same treatment if they start to redo Slaanesh's designs too much.
I deserve no such quarter, but I accept your judgment. I shall go into exile and serve my penance. Farewell, von Valencius.
Oh, we did all that work to get everybody ready to fight, and then we managed to talk her down. Color me shocked.
Emperor, have mercy upon me. I had doubts before, but now I see they were unwarranted. Of all the defenders of the Expanse, only she was worthy of being his shield. Her repentance is but for the proof of it. I was a fool to not believe in her. Is this how the cleansing of Footfall ends? No.
Hieronymus cries out in woe and looks around the room with ferocious eye. Oh, we might actually still be getting a fight. Oh shit.
Incendia may not have been the holiest or the purest of the Emperor's tools, but who will be left here when she is gone? Him?
He points his fingers at Dim.
Her?
Right, then at Ryza, and finally at you.
You? Are you going to protect the law? Protect the faith? Empress faithful, our protector was caught in a web of conspiracy. She was lied to. We shall avenge her and carry on her cause. When thou hast stepped into the nest of corruption, destroy those that dwell therein. Smite and torment them like his wrathful instrument that knoweth no fear. Avenge his sorrow, shun pity in the name of thy love for him, to battle for Incendia, Chorda, and the Emperor.
Well, I guess we're still fighting.
This will be your downfall.
Well, I was really not going to hope for this to happen, but, alright, how the fuck do we want to do this? Cassia, if you would be so kind. Set up over here. Maybe set up here. Hold on. We're gonna set Jay up here. We're gonna set Abelard up here. We're going to set Heinrichs here. Pascal. There's really not much in the way of cover. And then I'm gonna go over here. There we go. Alright, start the battle. Okay. We all know how this is gonna go down. Why? Hold on. Cassia, if you could be so kind, move a couple spaces over. It's just me that constantly mix together Keeper Secrets and Lords of Change. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird. Keeper of Secrets is often a demon that I see where it says like, wait a second, which Chaos God does that serve again? Right there. Draw them all to a single point. Thank you. And then we're going to immobilize the Psyker. Set him on fire. Then go ahead and... what weapon do you... So are you a melee character by any chance? You actually don't have any weapons at all. Okay, so we're gonna... how many? Hold on. 9, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, so he's only got the 3. We're just gonna go ahead and...
If you insist, Lord Captain.
hold in the gaze. Thank you. Then we're going to buff. Keeper of Secrets looks the part. The name just sounds more Zeech. Exactly, exactly. It's like it's whenever people say it without like a picture of the model. Like when you say it, and my brain immediately wants to default to, oh yes, a Zeechian demon. No, wait a second. No, it's not.
If I may.
All right, here we go. The usual. Oh, and there's explosive barrels next to them. This is gonna suck for them. I guess actually, every burning creature. Okay, no, we want to do Firestorm first. Then
I'll see to it personally.
kaboom! Wow, they actually managed to take that hit pretty hard. Are they under any kind of... oh, they're all... are they all fucking tanking characters? They are. They're all freaking tanking characters. Okay. Well, that's gonna be an aggravate. That's gonna be aggravating as shit. Oh. Then we're going to... so all of them are on fire. Let's go ahead and set you on fire as well. And then we're going to inflame everybody. Alright. Hieronymus is dead. That's unfortunate. It's a good thing I didn't bring Argenta to this one. The Emperor once said... oh, I needed to... that was the one it was. That was the one it was. I completely forgot about that yesterday. Sorry, I got caught up doing household chores after I got done with stream yesterday. And I pretty much was doing that for like the next 4 hours, so I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. Emperor once said, and Mars, I'm preparing a latte. I need to remember that. I need to remember that. Alright, go ahead and give me another turn.
I shall prevail.
And then we're going to set you on fire. And then we're going to inflame.
Personally.
Oh, would you look at that? And then we're going to set him on fire. And then we're going to set him on fire again. And that's the end of that. Vadim surveys the carnage and says dryly and morosely, "What a mess. Thank you for helping us deal with it. Your lordship, your help has been invaluable, but the Kasballica mission will nonetheless try to approximate and match its value in the most generous of terms." "And what do you mean to do next?" "I will regain my grip on the station. I will free the prisoners. I will give the merchants back their impounded cargo. I will replace the lowlifes her ladyship put in charge with my own. I will take care of those of the station's sectors that are slowly dying in isolation. And of course, I will send an envoy to the Lord Inquisitor to bring him the news and inform him of my full willingness to cooperate." I do not want Chorda's enforcers to face any direct reprisals. Unless they resist, allow them to leave as quickly as possible. I am no butcher. Her ladyship's enforcers may leave the station, except those personally complicit in the killing of my employees' friends and loved ones, for they, I have a responsibility toward.
Congratulations, your lordship. You've got one less rival in the expanse.
No, really only 500? I think that should have been worth a bit more, but okay. Now that we have dealt with the pressing issues, do you have any other instructions regarding the station's governance going forward? After all, Footfall is now under your exclusive personal protection. Vadim and everyone in the bar looks at you expectantly. Footfall has been exhausted and wounded by Chorda's cruelty. I would have the Von Valencia's Protectorate work with your forces, Vadim, to set up shelters for those in need, and for those in pain can find a roof over their head, sustenance, and basic medical aid. I want this station to stand on its own 2 feet once more. I don't know why the camera moved, but okay. The entire gathering glorifies your name with a joyful chant. In their eyes, you see hope with a dash of mistrust. The station's inhabitants are not used to such magnanimity. However, something in your voice does give them hope that you are not putting on a show, and that perhaps this is the beginning of a new, less grim period of the station's history. I was honestly not expecting that to work that well. Oh, Hieronymus's body is gone. That's strange. Why would his body be missing? Leather armor. Really? They were wearing leather armor? They were wearing, like, strung up somewhere? I doubt it. He was still really well liked by the people of Footfall, despite everything that had happened. Burst attacks, solid weapons have higher over penetration. That doesn't matter. Diviner staff. Oh, it's a basic diviner staff. It's not even like a fancy one. Rapid fire auto gun. Don't need any of those because nobody uses that. Auto striking power sword. When this wielder successfully parries with this power sword, they immediately counterattack with whatever attack costs the least HP. Ooh. Target suffer. That's really good. Heavy Xenos mesh, which we don't need, and a field medicae. All right. Do you have anything else to say to me, Vadim? Oh. The liege, newly restored, looks tired, but pleased with what's going on around him. His fingers rap away at his datasheet as he sends out instruction after instruction. Your lordship, is there anything Footfall can do to thank you for its liberation? How is the station doing now that you have everything under control? I am only carrying out the duties imposed upon me by my position as liege. After the House Chorda forces began to retreat, it turned out that, surprisingly enough, there were unaccounted for scumbags on the station who wasted no time seizing opportunities. I took the smartest and most useful among them under my wing, and told them I didn't want any shenanigans. As for the rest, well, 100 or so names were added to the grievous toll Lady Chorda had left behind. Yep, we've already got everything from them. I thought maybe that would unlock something for helping them. I don't think I should tell him about Octaviana having contacts with the Kasballica, because I don't think that would end very well for either of them. Upon noticing you, Octaviana offers you a genuine beaming smile and a respectful bow. What will it be, sir? Anything for you. How are you enjoying your liberated Footfall? To the fullest, sir. I'm sure things will improve soon, that is to say, until some new disaster strikes and makes everything stink here again. After that, if we're lucky, things will improve again. Such is the circle of life in the Emperor's expanse. What can you do? But you're the one who saved us from the suffocating darkness of Lady Chorda. and all denizens of Footfall now pray for your help. I wish to make an announcement. I have no idea. Oh, I guess we're making a drinking announcement.
Hey, you bums! Layabouts, crooks, shut your trap! His Lordship, Savani de Varenze von Valencius, who has graciously honored us with his presence today, is about to speak.
The bar quiets down and all eyes turn to you. Proper freedom, and the Emperor's law has returned to Footfall. Drink and live once more, spite in Kenda Chorda, and drink to the memory of the lost. A deafening wave of jubilation washes over the room. From every direction, you hear shouts of praise for you and House von Valencius. Octaviana joins in while readying bottles and tankers. She knows what will happen the moment you leave the bar. I lost valuable suppliers of equipment in the conflict between Pucara and Chorda.
If you're looking for the relics of the St. Drusus mission, talk to the chaplain. After the Reverend's death, he became the unofficial Drusian leader of sorts here on Footfall. The reliquary will be safe under his watch. That man is as hard as plasteel.
Let us not
Sweet.
dawdle.
That worked out surprisingly well. I guess we'll check in with the chaplain. I can't imagine he's very happy about what happened, but it's not like we purposely told them to do that. Shadows have made their home under the chaplain's eyes.
If your lordship has something to say to the Drusian mission, you can count on having my ear. Reverend Hieronymus's demise has left me the senior missionary on Footfall, I suppose. I am authorized to speak on behalf of my brothers and sisters.
You grieve for the Reverend.
I do. He was a grand man. Strength of character that is only rivaled by his fervor. It was he who ordained me. Ordained me properly, I should say, not in the pirate fashion. He taught me a lot, even though I didn't always agree with him. It will be a long time before the Expanse sees another servant of the Emperor quite like him. I will not lie. I'm going to miss him. I hope I can live up to his memory and be half as fervent as him in bringing St. Drusus's word to those in need of redemption.
I must admit, it's a curious choice placing you in charge.
You'll hear no argument from me on that front. When we lost the dear Reverend, my brothers and sisters despaired, but I, hardened killer that I am, have seen comrades die before, so I made suggestions to them at first, then gave them instructions, and in hard times like this, with so many people suffering, we couldn't just allow them all to wallow in the puddle of grief. My brothers and sisters of the faith needed me, and then I guess somehow they got it in their heads that I was in charge now. So I'm running things. Running things till some big old reverend of a higher rank than mine shows up, tells me to get lost and takes over. It's an embarrassment for the head of the mission to have scars all over his face, making it plain to see all the ungodly things he did in his past.
We're still too far away from that. I don't even like either of these helmets because they don't help. They don't help Ulfar actually do anything that I have him doing, which is kind of ridiculous.
Keep my options open.
No, if his body's not here, it's more than likely that the chaplain was allowed to take his body away and give it a proper burial. Ryza, how about you, ma'am?
Welcome back.
Hey, Sir Justin. Thank you for joining. I take it you just got done with your own raid on everything. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out. Highlighted channel, yeah. And I think I'm doing this right. Hold on. There we go. So Justin the Lion, welcome. I take it you were playing either Space Marine 2 or Rogue Trader. You're off to an appointment. Have a test. Thank you, Justin. You have a great day then. Have a glorious day, my friend. And thank you for the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome, Raiders. We're playing some more Rogue Trader. We've been having some technical issues today, so if the stream looks a little wonky, please bear with it. I'm going to have to figure out what the hell happened to it afterwards. It's usually fine when we're not moving too much, but when the camera starts moving a lot, everything starts to break down. Plus, the game didn't want to run when I first got on, and pretty much everything's been trying to screw up my day today. Things are back to normal on Footfall, I see.
Well, how should I put it? The Lord Inquisitor's still on the station. Folks still have to keep a bit of a lid on their activities, but at least with Kendia and our hounds gone, I can breathe a little easier. Shipments are slowly starting up again, and anyone who worked with Chorda has been thrown for a loop footfall style. And folks can do business in the Amasekis again without any trouble. I should also thank you for finally shutting up the dear Reverend. Perished during the trial that you and Kendia Chorda held on footfall. I have to wonder if I had killed her, would he have been okay with that? And seen that as a proper punish? I don't know. It seems like something would have... I don't know. Maybe there was something I could have done to stop that. If trials really do cleanse the soul, then after weeks of listening to his shrill hectoring, I must have the soul of a saint. I don't know if I'd agree with your esteemed self that things are back to normal, but I'll gladly drink to the new normal. And here, to your health.
You seem to be far more at peace. I take it you turned your back on such heresy? Ryza nods seriously.
I have, your lordship. No more profane amulets, or anything. The cultists and heretics who wormed their way into my crew took a long walk through a short airlock. And the servants of the ruinous powers who took advantage of my moment of weakness were sent to meet their own dark gods.
Ryza smiles nastily.
I doubt they'll recognize their minions after what I did to them, though.
Sure, Tenwin. As I said, I don't mind if we're past a point where I can affect it. I don't mind if you tell me, but thank you for asking before you did so.
I always have a backup.
I've got a feeling that maybe it wouldn't. I have a feeling like there was no way to get out of that fight without fighting somebody. Oh, there was Vladim's cannon fodder. Oh, they actually... Wow, they actually had decent armor. And weapons. What the fuck? These were your sacrificial guys, Vladim? You actually equipped them pretty well. What the hell? Well, we don't need any of those, I don't think, unless they're... No, they're still... Nah, they're still not good. Voidsman armor, though. 15% armor against human enemies. Maybe. Maybe. We'll hold on to him for now. He doesn't go all aggressive if you do kill her. I recall him surviving. Okay, fair enough.
Rise to the top.
Shame then.
Or get
Like,
left in the dust.
I figured that killing a rogue trader would be a bad move for the stability of the sector, all things considered, given everything that's been happening. But Hieronymus decided to be a dipshit, I guess. To be fair, from the sound of it, the chaplain's going to be running things pretty well. I'm glad that we didn't have to end up killing him back in the day. Because I'm pretty sure that might have happened if we hadn't been careful. Yeah, I did notice he had a dogmatic... He had a couple of dogmatic choices in his options. I have to imagine if you're able to do that, then you would be able to talk him down, because you'd be able to talk from his perspective. Oh, let me guess. The Inquisition wants to talk. The elderly man in front of you is moving with the noiselessness of an experienced servant. He bows primly and says in a raspy voice,
The Lord Inquisitor bade me inform you that it has been his pleasure to see your lordship at his palace. There are matters of the utmost urgency he wishes to discuss. He hopes you will find the time to meet with him in the near future.
And who are you?
I am Froschka, my lordship. I have the honor of being the Lord Inquisitor's personal retainer.
The man is unarmed, wearing no inquisitorial insignia, but the military sharpness of his upright posture suggests he is a servant, doubling as a bodyguard. I shall visit the Lord Inquisitor as soon as possible.
I will pass the good news to the Lord Inquisitor.
The man bows respectfully again. Yep. Now we get to see how well all of this went down, and it seems like our enforcers have taken over patrolling the streets, which is interesting. Ooh. Oh dear. So, yeah, so now we'd have to go to the chaplain in the bar if we want to talk to the Drusians directly, because they've just got all sorts of things over there. Mumbling madman. Oh, great. We're having mumbling madmen in the streets again. That's great. Oh, Jesus, great. Now they're attributing miracles to us. Isn't that nice? Can't wait to be unable to live up to that. Oh. Oh, wait. The water actually is flowing from the Imperial statue. Wait, what? They say somebody different is to say, as soon as he came to power, a spring of the purest water poured forth from the Emperor's statue and hasn't run dry since. What is that if not America? I mean, it's actually happening, and I'm actually wondering where the fuck it came from, so, shit. Okay, maybe the Emperor is on my side. Who knew? I figured I was kind of just scooting along with the Big E not paying attention. Fun fact, when I first came here in Chapter 4, I had the most amazing of bugs. The space map and the foot map overlaid, aka as I moved forward, I encountered the star at the center of the system inside Footfall. That's interesting. The game was apparently having none of it anymore, and was, oh, okay, everybody just drew their guns the second I walked in the door. I mean, I'm kind of used to that, but at the same time, it's never nice to see. Oh boy, here we go. Yep, there he is. The Chief Dick. Hello, Calcazar. Oh my god, I'm looking at the stream and the artifacting is so bad. Why? It was so good yesterday. I was so happy that I'd figure out how to stream in 4K because I hadn't actually had that set until now, and now it looks utterly fucking horrible. The Lord Inquisitor is engrossed in studying star system charts and reports, which are amassed on the desk like the ridges of a formidable mountain range. There are shadows beneath his eyes, which are ruthlessly dissecting the latest report, and his skin seems stretched taut over the bones of his skull. Without turning his head towards you, Calcazar says wearily, "Greetings, your lordship. Your timing is impeccable." Lord of all things, pain in the arse. Correct. I mean, it's the Inquisition. It comes with the job description. An aged servant with the bearing of a veteran approaches the two of you. In a precise movement, he replaces the untouched cup of cold recaf in front of the Lord Inquisitor with a new one, slightly steaming. Heinrichs nods silently at Calcazar, who responds ever so slightly by returning the bow with his head. May the Emperor grant you strength, Lord Calcazar, and perhaps some time to rest, my dear Lord Inquisitor. The corners of Calcazar's mouth creep upward in a befittingly grave tone. He replies, "I would be loath to trouble our master with a prayer for such an indulgence, especially one so utterly inappropriate at this fraught time. Lady Navigator Cassia to Sophia oh god, so many eyes. Cassia to Sophia Everella. Cassia to Sophia Everella." The Lord Inquisitor's lips curve into a thin smile as he catches a glimpse of scarlet eyes. "I hear that House Orselio is going through a difficult time. Change is coming. I sincerely hope it is for the better." That's true. I wonder why we haven't gotten another quest for her yet. I'm surprised we haven't heard more from House Orselio.
Your colors, Lord Inquisitor, are as rich as they are multifaceted. I've never encountered anything like it before. Unclouded hues flowing from one to the next. Harmony. Amazing and frightening.
Cassia raises her chin and nods demurely.
That a man of such high status and talents has taken an interest in the well-being of a Navis Nobilite house is a great honor.
Jay touches the aquila on her chest and drops her head in an unnecessarily deep bow.
"Oh, Lord Inquisitor, smiting spear of the Imperium with the gold of faith cutting through the nebula of the coronistic spat."
Calcazar raises a hand in warning.
"If I were you, Mistress Hadari, I would simply endeavor not to draw the Inquisition's attention to my person."
Is actually the most vulnerable he can be. He is, by all metrics, outside the Imperial's borders. If the local rogue trader decided he could just fan it. Yeah, well, to be fair, he's taking full advantage of the fact that up until now, because think about it, before we rose to power, you had Theodora, you had Incendia, and you had Caligos. Caligos was a wild card, but could kind of be nudged in the direction you wanted. Failing that, he tended to stay out of the Inquisition's way. Incendia was a rabid fanatic who would do anything the Inquisition asked, and Theodora, from what we've gathered, was seemingly blackmailed by Xavier. So he was in a solid position, all things considered. Now, though, we have us, who is building an independent power base that the Inquisition hasn't been able to touch. aside from having Heinrichs on our staff, but we know that he's reporting back to Kalkazar. Having a spy that you know is a spy is always better than the spy you don't know is a spy. Kaligos is pretty much out of the running right now after we finally freed him from his coordinate corruption, so who knows what he's going to do. And Inkendia is now wherever the fuck she decided to wander off to. So he's now definitely most vulnerable. He is now in a position where, yes, if we wanted to, we probably have the forces to take him on right now. Maybe not in spaceborne assets, because he has requisitioned a good chunk of the space defense forces from the surrounding region. But we probably have more actual troops available than he does. And without the backing of Inkendia or Kaligos, his power base is fragile at best.
A Mercatum Tabulae Officiale can do many things. Reattaching a head to a body is not one of them.
I recently escaped from Comora, where I was held captive by the Xenos. The Inquisitor raises an eyebrow, impressed.
You escaped from the Dark City. That is a feat that few have accomplished. Truly, I congratulate you on your exceptional performance. I won't even mar your triumph by telling you that the Inquisition will, of course, be watching you very closely from henceforth. I sincerely hope that your grand escape was not part of some Xenos devious machinations.
To be fair, you had help from a Harlequin. True. No need to tell Xavier about that, though. If he really is keeping as close an eye on me as he has been, he already knows that, and there's no reason to bring it up. Aside from, as he says here, keeping an eye on us anyways, because devious Xenos machinations and whatnot. And if he doesn't know, again, there's no reason to tell him.
We recently engaged with one of your acolytes, an Emelina. She accused you of cooperating with Xenos. I would remind you that the particularities of the Inquisition's work lie beyond the rogue trader's purview. But given the circumstances, yes, Acolyte Lichtenhardt's words were true. It has been several years since I established contact with members of the Drukhari. They informed me of upcoming raids. I thwarted them. I kept the Expanse safe while the Xenos were absorbed in internal squabbles, which are of little interest to me.
If I remember correctly, it's actually an interesting case. The Harlequins... I'm trying to remember exactly. I think if I recall correctly, the Ordo Malleus actually has a fairly positive opinion of them because, or maybe not all the Harlequins, but groups such as the Solitaires they do, because the Solitaires are blanks. So it's one of the few cases where the Ordo Malleus knows they don't really have to worry when one of them is around. Or at least they don't have to worry about the Eldar. Usually if a Solitaire shows up, it means that something is horrible is about to happen in real space, but there's not much they can do about that other than keep an eye out for it. I don't know what the Ordo Xenos stance is on it, because the Ordo Xenos has far too many Inquisitors who don't differentiate amongst the Eldar and just see them all as crazy Xenos, so, you know. Yeah, I'll admit, it's a blind spot in the lore that I'm not fully sure on. Though I imagine if Xavier's willing to make deals with the Drukhari, he probably doesn't care too much about a Solitaire showing up. Indeed, again, it might be even something that's a bit easier. With the Drukhari, you have a whole politics and internal structure and hierarchy you got to deal with. With the Solitaires and the Harlequins, it's literally just, oh, like, there's at most maybe half a dozen of them. It's a lot easier to keep management of.
Strictly speaking, one might regard my actions in this situation as unorthodox, at the very least. In reality, however, they are undoubtedly beneficial. Acolyte Lichtenhardt has demonstrated her inability to surmount the bonds of convention, and had she been in my position, the Expanse would likely have fallen under the blows of the present crisis. Fortunately for you, she is not, and the Drukhari, drained by their power struggles and bereft of their best raiders, can do nothing more than run from my fleet. Heinrichs, I have to say I'm disappointed by how easily information pertaining to the Expanse's security reaches the ears of those who should not be privy to it. This will be noted in your permanent record. Should you care to put my concerns to rest and tell me that Emelina is not out there running amok around my sector, sowing unrest? In response to Kalkazar's question, Heinrich's eyes narrowed, smoldering with anger. Lord Inquisitor, Emelina is dead, by my hand. Indeed. Well, I hope I can continue to trust you to know when a useful resource is finally exhausted and must be disposed of.
True, I would imagine the Inquisitor has taken that into account. I would certainly hope so, at least.
Your Lordship, I hope it goes without saying that I would appreciate you not spreading dangerous and misleading rumors going forward, and keeping the content of this conversation private. Given the current state of affairs, I would have to treat such actions as subversive, so I thank you in advance for your considerate silence.
What exactly is the current situation within the Expanse? Oh boy, we're gonna have a lot of dialogue with this.
The cults of the Final Dawn and the Drukhari Raiders are vying with each other for who can cause the greatest turmoil. I have mobilized all of our available forces to repel attacks, which is why we're still alive. Combined militia brigades are hunting down Xenos and guarding convoys, and the expeditionary platoons under my command are crushing the heretical rebellions. The situation is still unstable, but I will not pretend that I was prepared for this crisis. Moreover, we have not yet lost our footing yet. I'm hoping that you behave, Lord Inquisitor. We don't want your plasma drives on your personal ship to suddenly have issues. Yeah, that's true. That is true. If we well, to be fair, the Inquisition usually maintains their own stable of take priests to keep an eye on their stuff. But yes, it would still be easier than most issues in order to get somebody aboard. Considering the Drukhari already tried to blow up our ship with our plasma drives, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do the same thing to Calcazar at some point.
Do you know what has prompted the Drukhari to act so brazenly?
Prisoner interrogations indicate that a relatively major political upheaval has taken place within the Dark City.
The cabal of the Reaving Tempest has lost its grip on authority and became a major target for its rivals. Many vassals and members of the cabal decided that fleeing to real space was preferable than waiting in Comora to be killed. And why has the cult become more active? The warp is raging. This baleful signs always portend change, and crisis begets desperation, a fertile ground for heresy. I believe the archenemy's servants think their time has come, or perhaps this day has marked in their profane scriptures as a date of some end of existence. I will not trouble myself with further attempts to make sense of blasphemous doctrine. They are bent on destroying us all, and so must be annihilated. And what makes you think you're capable of commanding the whole sector? Do you see a better candidate for the job? The Lord Inquisitor closes his eyes wearily for a moment.
I may no longer be in the first flush of youth, but believe me when I say that there are many things I would much rather be doing than playing constable to the Coronis Expanse. Alas, every ruler in our sector chooses to confine their concern to the well-being of their own holdings, whereas I must take care of all.
I see you've mobilized the vast majority of the Imperial forces, but have not called upon those of House von Valencius.
Are you not standing before me now?
Your status remains unclear. I preferred not to requisition the resources of the von Valencius Protectorate. Your people dealt with Urlon the Cruel's agents and with Xenos raids, and that was enough for me. But now it is the time to add your might and talent to the scales. Oh, you must have an ingenious plan to save the Expanse then, Lord Inquisitor. The glance tossed at you is like a shot from an auto pistol at point-blank range. If such a plan were to exist, information about it would be of the utmost secrecy. I suggest you focus on our current strategy of putting out each fire as you encounter it. I see no need to get bogged down in the details. To apprise you of all the information I currently possess would require more time than we have. Of the dispute between you and Caligos Winterscale, would you care to speak on that?
His lordship deemed it more important to show off his stubbornness than to safeguard the interests of the Expanse or his protectorate.
Stupidity of the most burdensome kind. But my sources inform me that he has nevertheless joined my efforts against the Xenos, so I have decided to stay any sanctions for a time. And why do you think he acted that way?
His lordship has long displayed a susceptibility to corrupting ideals. His loss of interest in managing his protectorate, his appetite for violence drew my notice some time ago.
After a moment's hesitation, Calcazar adds, the only question that remains unanswered is how many agents of the archenemy have infiltrated his entourage. Did you even try to talk to him, or did you simply allow Inkentia to go after him? The Inquisitor's jaw hardens.
Despite the impression I may have created, I am not a schoolmaster obliged to rein in every misbehaving rogue trader.
Caligos rejected the call to fulfill his duties to the Emperor. What discussion was there to be had? Well, then perhaps you'd be pleased to know that Caligos was under the influence of the ruinous powers, but I put an end to it.
Curious.
When this is all over, then you shall certainly be called upon to stand witness at his trial. Together we will decide how best to handle him while ensuring the safety of the Expanse. Speaking of the safety of the Expanse, are you aware of the changes that Inkendia has wrought upon Footfall?
Naturally.
Her ladyship has done me an invaluable service by taking on the task of instilling an order on the station, though her style of leadership seems unusually brutal. On the whole, her actions have not exceeded the bounds. Yet. And if you thought her actions unnecessarily brutal, why have you not intervened?
Firstly, I entrusted the task to her ladyship, and she is executing it competently. And secondly, Savani di Firenze, are you unaware of what I am striving to do here? At present, I am trying to prevent the deaths of billions. You ask me why I am not choosing to save hundreds.
And Inquisition called your methods unnecessarily brutal. That says a lot. Yeah, it does. It says even more, though, that that's not enough for him to have removed her from office. Yeah.
Well, I managed to convince Chorda of the error of her beliefs. She has left the station. I'm surprised you managed such a feat. However, it's probably for the best. I assumed the two of you would clash the moment you arrived, but I expected a more tragic outcome. I admire your zeal for peacekeeping. And what help do you want from me and the Protectorate? Forsha, if you please. The Inquisitor nods imperiously at the servant, who draws some kind of remote control from his pocket. All sound whose sources are more than 3 meters away fade into absolute nothing.
The cone of silence.
To my chagrin, the ability to be in 2 places at once does not number among my talents, which is why I wish for you to serve in my stead. I place such trust in very few people, you understand. You will feel what it is to walk in the shoes of an Inquisitor and attempt to compel a gaggle of quarrelsome blockheads to work together. You will reconquer Euphrates II for me. The Inquisitor gestures to his servant and the silencing field disappears. Frosha, another recaf. This one is already cold.
Pascal's head jerks up, clearly recognizing the name Calcazar just uttered. Abelard stifles a grunt of displeasure, his mutter pitched for your ears only.
You will reconquer Euphrates too for me? Well, the esteemed Lord Inquisitor has done away with all pretense and politeness now. His orders no longer come with even the veneer of a request. And to what do I owe such an honor? To whom else could I entrust? No need to feign ignorance, Von Valencius. We both know the shortcomings of the other candidates for this position. At present in the Expanse, there are 2 people with the perspective and steady hand required to control the situation, and they are both standing in this room. So if you will, dispense with the humble rogue trader act. Go and win this war for me.
What can you tell me of Euphrates II?
Sacred world of the Mechanicus, off limits to the lay people who do not work there. I'm one of the few who do not worship the Omnissiah to have set foot on its surface, or rather I was. Now it crawls with unbelievers and heretics. The despicable word-bearers attacked it directly and captured much of the planet, and the cult of the Final Dawn brought an entire horde of heretics to the planet.
That 2 people is you and Abelard. I actually suck at that. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
Registering a Sanctity Alpha priority mission, the scourge of corrupted misbelievers reigning over blessed workshops fills the Omnissiah's faithful with anguish. Activating auto-asceticism protocol, I offer a prayer for the liberation of the most sacred world. From beneath Pascal's crimson robe comes the sound of mechanisms whirring to life, and dark bloodstains streak across the fabric. I sent as many of my troops as I could to aid the explorator forces that are laying siege to the world. But a rift has occurred among the commanders there. They need a more authoritative general, and you are perfect for the role. My confidence is not misplaced, I trust. And what matter first brought you to Euphrates II out of interest, Lord Inquisitor? An utterly transparent attempt to learn secret intelligence. I offer to make you my general, you tried to pump me for information. Poorly done, my boy. The word-bearers went there themselves. They didn't just send their puppets. Clearly, the stakes for them are high enough. One Eurolon the Cruel has stirred his profane self to make a personal appearance on Euphrates II. Conrad Voigtfear, incidentally, is also there. I hear you two have unfinished business.
Engage the sad dubstep prayer. I don't know. It said dark bloodstains were appearing on his robes. I think it's a little bit more than dubstep.
I will graciously leave him to you. When you are finished with him, you may simply dispose of his mortal remains. No need to surrender them to the Inquisition or for an inquest. Consider it a personal gift. And what exactly do they want with the world? The reasons behind their machinations would be pure speculation. Bring me prisoners to interrogate, and perhaps we will gain some much-needed insight.
What forces do we have in place, and what is this rift that has occurred?
Explorator Fleet Divine Cognizance 78-21 recalled its most combat-ready forces to retake the world. They were supported by my most powerful strike fleet and a group of deadlier allies. I dispatched a pack of space wolves to hunt down the transgressors.
Ooh, we need to take Ulfar there then. Add a T to Conrad's name. No, I did that, I think, back in right after he betrayed us or right after some point in Act 2. I can't remember where it is. I did call him that a couple of times. Have you heard the Mechanicus OST? I have heard portions of it, yes. And I would be willing to play Mechanicus on stream. I would just need to curb my... Because I've played the beginning of that and my save scumming tendencies came in full force with that because there's so many random events where I'm just like, but what if I choose the wrong one? I did choose the wrong one. I need to go back. I need to select it again. I need to do the... Yeah. But I have heard portions of it. I have heard especially, I think, the main theme, which is like called Children of the Omnissiah or something like that, and it's so goddamn good. It is so purely Mechanicus. Purely Mechanicus. I say what you will about pretty much every other game that they've done. Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2, really great shooters. Rogue Trader is a great CRPG. The Dawn of War series is a great strategy game. The Mechanicus game is the most like faction-fitting style of game, art, assets, and sound design that I think any of them have done.
Unfortunately, the leaders have failed to find a common language. The esteemed Thorvald is at odds with the conclave of the Mechanicus Battle Congregation, and the Omnissiah servants find Thorvald's strident nature off-putting, and neither group is fond of militant Sibilek, who commands my main forces. Were not fond, to be precise. The esteemed militant perished along with his ship roughly a week ago when his noble allies failed to support his offensive. How did you manage to enlist the aid of the Angels of the Emperor? I must remind you that I am still Lord Inquisitor of the Cronus Expanse, not merely some... What do they always say, Frocher? Some grox-bothering prick. If certain rogue traders at times allow themselves to speak to me in an overly willful manner, that should not give you cause to doubt my authority. The situation is clear, then. You'll be given the details when you arrive in orbit around Euphrates 2. Before I leave, this man, is he your valet or another inquisitorial assassin? Why not both? Frocher has been a member of my retinue for nearly 50 standard years, and the person in my entourage who comes closest to being my confidant. Something akin to a warm smile touches the Inquisitor's lips. We've had cause to be involved in many incidents whose reports have since been marked with a full seal of silence.
I would also say, Tenwin, the Imperial Guard theme from Winter Assault, the main theme for the Imperial Guard, is also a very iconic piece of music for them. Frocher nods deferentially, and on his age-jowled face appears an expression caught between eternal loyalty, motherly affection, and religious devotion. Then I shall go to Euphrates too, and you have my word that we will find whatever means necessary to smash the heretics to pieces. I've never doubted your lordship. The Emperor protects. Alcazar nods at the paper that his servant has deferentially delivered to the table.
This document attests to the extraordinary powers you now have at your disposal. I am counting on your success. Sovani di Firenze von Valentius.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here then. We've been on footfall long enough. Oh, right. I do want to... Can we get back to the Shadow Quarter? I don't know if we can. Because so far the game has not been letting us go to the areas that we have been wanting to. Get us back over here. Ooh-wee. Yeah, we're still not allowed to go to the... We can't go to the Shadow Quarters yet, which is a shame. Can't do anything there. We can't do anything there. We've got to make our way to Euphrates 2. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Tenwin. There was no Dawn of War 3. Just like there was no Command & Conquer 4. They don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a real shame we never got a sequel to Dawn of War 2 or Command & Conquer 3. Real shame. Shame that that never happened. Absolute total shame. Huh. What is over here? Oh. What the hell? Lord Captain reporting. Shortly before our departure from Footfall, a group of messengers in luxurious garb delivered a strongbox and several chests bearing the insignia of House Orsilio to the ship. I suppose the use of gold-clad servants instead of servitors was an extravagant attempt by the navigators to draw the attention of the rogue trader. Considering the incident of the capital world, the enforcer officers checked the Navis Nobilites' gifts thrice. I am pleased to report that none of them threaten your, Lady Cassia, or the crew's well-being. Having said that, a closer examination of the strongbox by Tex Adepts revealed a data slate with a vid message addressed personally to you along some kind of encrypted data. We dared not touch them without your instructions. Vid message. Show me. As you command, Lord Captain, Vigdis issues several orders and the vid screen of your personal cogitator springs to life, the machine innards rumbling unhappily.
Rogue trader.
A familiar, piercing voice comes from the cogitator's vox system. You see a bloated face of sagging skin and a gaping hole where the nose should be.
We, Great Regent Aranto Orsilio, send greetings and hope that this message finds you in good health. House Orsilio shall soon hold a grand council within the Palace of Atlas, the holy relic that connects all navigators of our house. This meeting will take place not in the physical world, but in the world of thoughts, dreams, and visions, as it is the only way to avoid bloodshed and decide the fate of the sacred child. Thanks to the Atlas, we feel that the soul of the child is full of dismay, and yet the rogue trader's words bear great weight for her, so he may soothe her anxiety and lead the child down the righteous path, the path of accepting her duty before the house and of ascending the Novator's throne. I hope you consider my offer, Savani de Ferenzi von Valencius, for it is in your power to not only strengthen the bond between our noble dynasties, but multiply your riches at the same time. The gifts accompanying this message are but an insignificant part of the Great Regent's gratitude. May the God Emperor protect us all. Dawn of War 2 has the only good chaos corruption mechanic done in 40k. Most creatures is way too obvious. Yeah, Dawn of somehow said there's a almost flawless system of corruption coming from hard choices and it's slowly building, changing, influencing the game. Yes, no, Dawn of War 2, it especially works very well for Space Marine corruption, where it isn't just do you do bad thing, it's do you do this expedient thing that might have consequences later. And it actually does a very good job of portraying each of the squad members' falls depending on which one ends up being the traitor with the corruption score. It does a really good job of justifying each of them. I believe the canonical traitor is Avitus, and he does kind of make the most sense because he basically falls off a cliff of nihilism and is just like, why does anything matter? Everything is just war, everything is just death, so why should I care who or why people die? I do think that Rogue Trader does a good job as well because a lot of the heretical options are not overtly chaotic. Some of them are just self-serving in the extreme, where you can just be like, I just want to fight people because fighting is cool, kind of like you can just do shit for random reasons, and that's equally as heretical as it is for actual using the warp and using the powers of the Chaos Gods. The vid screen, excuse me, so that the other game is managed as well, which was sad that it couldn't match as well. Yeah, it does all right, as I said. As I said, I like that the heretical options are not all just, lol, me worship chaos, you can't do nothing about it, because I have word of trade. A lot of the heretical options are also just things like, oh, we just fought these guys, and now I want to fight these other dudes who helped us, because fuck it, I just want to fight. Like, it does do a good job of showing how corruption can infiltrate through completely just... Benign's not the right word, obviously, but not what you wouldn't think of as something that is chaotic. Which I think fits for a rogue trader, because a lot of rogue traders probably end up in that kind of situation, like Caligos, where he's doing things that he loves and not realizing that some of those things are slowly drawing him closer and closer to corruption. The vid screen shuts down and the Voxmaster breaks the silence. I am told the message has been relayed to your cogitator, Lord Captain. I hope the data did not get corrupted during playback or delivery. Decode the encryption hidden in the data slate. Of course, Lord Captain. Vigdis falls silent. The Vox transmission fills with the scratching of cogitator quill and rustling of papers. A messenger servo skull has been sent to the Omnisci servant's compartment. Once the data has been decrypted, we will notify you immediately. That will be all for now. God Emperor protects, Lord Captain. Yeah, I think I remember reading about that one.
Obviously, I did not do that because I'm not playing a heretical run-through. I guess... No, we don't really have any other information for that. What is this? Boop, 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 boop. Hello. The gigantic asteroid's surface is densely sown with craters and pits leading into the deep caves. Augurs indicate that the asteroid consists of layers characterized by strange heterogeneity. There's a high probability of finding valuable resources in the stone. They can be extracted by sending an exploration team deep into the tangled tunnels. Send an exploration team down with drilling apparatus. With the help of the massive drill, the exploration team penetrates into the cavernous depths. The squad reports that their auspex have detected meager reserves of substances used in the synthesis of plasteel in the rock. Their excavation will take time and significant effort. Use the demolition charges. The equipment struggles with the unexpected hardness of the rock, but after 3 watches, the squad manages to set up enough mobile extractors to gather the coveted material. The noise and vibrations caused by their instruments have disturbed strange currents inside the asteroid. A transparent, viscous substance streams down from the porous walls of the cavern, slowly filling the caves. The squad's auspexes begin raising alarmed. A prolonged stay in these tunnels will undoubtedly result in the toxic liquid destroying the gear and equipment. Despite this, the explorators suggest blocking the livelier streams in order to leave them with enough time to fill several canisters with the strange substance. Later, the Magi alchemies will no doubt be able to synthesize many useful chemicals from it. We do have good skills on this. There's no need for haste. The explorers are to gather as much material as possible, transfer the find to the Magi alchemists for further processing. Long hours are spent carefully preparing for the collection of the material and mapping the caves in this part of the asteroid. Carefully observing the flows of the strange liquid, the squad succeeds in gathering several canisters of the substance while preventing any floods. While some soldiers return to carry the prize off to the surface, the rest continue moving towards the asteroid's heart. The explorers eventually reach the dry, surprisingly large caverns. A moment of respite is interrupted by a terrified scream. The squad is now under attack. The tunnel's arches collapse, turning into a nightmarish monster resembling both worms and spiders. The beasts rush forward, yearning to tear apart the intruders who disturbed their nest. Okay, but I know that's not true, because that's not the fucking best character for the action. Order the squad to run. Shit, we fucking up. Damn it. The massive beasts turn out to be surprisingly agile. In a couple of jumps, they reach the team of explorers and dig into the poor souls' bodies with powerful mandibles, pashing them into bloody paste. Gorged on fresh meat, they scurry away into the colossal cracks in the walls. Having neither the time nor the strength to bid a final farewell to the fallen, deprived of equipment and hope, the remnants of the expedition rush out of the accursed caverns back to the ship. Damn. It was the harder skill check, but I thought that would give us something better, but then we failed an 80% skill check, because of course we did. Also, the game once more did not use someone with the best skills. It used my agility skill for some reason, when I know for a goddamn fact both Marazai and Aralet have better agility scores than I do.
Lord Captain, an urgent report from the servants of the Omnissiah. They have managed to locate a second message on the House Orsilio data slate, hidden in the shadow of the first. As soon as it happened, the machine spirits rebelled and started devouring the decrypted data. The acolytes of the cult Mechanicus are performing the rites to appease it and slow down the process of annihilation. What should we do?
Display the message on the screen, now. The comm bead echoes with the furious clicking of Vigdis's augmented fingers. A few moments later, the vid screen of your cogitator shows the recording through a wall of static.
Rogue, traitor.
Lady Navigator Alina, the one who staged the attempt to assassinate Cassia in your palace, politely smiles at you from the vid screen.
I have no doubt your servants would find my trace. They are far cleverer than the ones employed by the great regent of House Orsilio.
She does not bother to hide the venomous disdain within her last few words.
I feel extremely awkward that our first encounter took place under such unfortunate circumstances. Truth be told, I saw a worthy person behind the lofty title only after fate put me upon death's precipice. You hesitated to end my life despite holding it within your hands, and your noble deed gave me enough food for thought. Despite everything that has transpired, I still believe we may become loyal allies to one another. I presume that you now know that House Orsilio will be holding a grand council within the depths of that accursed Atlas soon.
Sounds like an ambush. It probably was. It did say spider and worms, so maybe not an ambush, but something of similar size and scope, I'd imagine.
And we cannot ignore the call, for we are bound to it against our will. But if you convince this Lady Cassia to reject the Atlas and break these shackles upon our house, we would all be able to turn over a new page. Having said that, I will of course accept a different outcome. Should the child die, I and my allies will not shed a tear. I will accept any choice, Rogue Trader. My people have simply nothing else to lose. But you could benefit greatly from our friendship.
There are mysterious shadows dancing in Lady Alina's eyes.
There is an emerald among the stars of Martianus. My gift to you for sparing my life. Head through the storms and torrent. Let it...
The vid recording cuts short, and you hear the Voxmaster's voice in your comm bead.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The servants of the Omnissiah were no longer able to restrain the machine spirit's hunger. I hope you were able to see the vid message before the end.
What did it say? An emerald among the stars of Martianus. Is there a system called Martianus? Omicron, Trinitos, Telecos, Mersa Grit, Langren's Belt, Moreau, Lautian, Mundus Valancius, Narman, Odenis, Mortis, no? Pelium, Liberated Melicta, Atlas Reach. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like a system name anywhere. Nope. Alright. Void ship. Ah, yes, we should also do that while we're down here. We're going to jump up here, and we're going to head over to here. What the? Okay, come on, game. Ah, Cassia.
Giovanni di Firenze, how wonderful it is I find you here.
Uncontrollable anxiety washes over you, causing you to lose your breath. Cassia notices this, closes her eyes, and you are released from the grip of emotions that are not your own.
Please forgive me. My powers are sometimes too insistent in their attempts to break free from my control.
Nonetheless, you've made great strides in learning how to keep them at bay, and I commend you for your perseverance, my lady.
I come to deliver good tidings. I have spoken with the House's navigators through the Atlas. Of late, I can feel with increasing clarity how our connection is growing stronger. Despite the dissent in our midst, House Orsilio has been able to keep a precarious equilibrium thanks in part to your unexpected arrival on Yorick 5 and the resolution of the conflict at Dargonis. Not all Orsilios concur with your decision, but none can deny the impact that you, and no one else, have had upon the House's present state of affairs.
As I said, I'm going for Irelet this time around, but I have seen, like, even just your initial interactions, she's very much that, despite everything, despite, you know, the Navigator appearance, despite the way she treats commoners and everything, she really is just a young woman who doesn't really have an idea of how the universe runs and works, and by showing her that, you do a lot to build trust in her. Cassia nods gratefully, lowers her gaze, and clasps her hands together.
There is more I wish to tell you. It is about the visions that I have come to experience at an increasing rate during the warp jumps. The same visions come to me again, and again, and again. It is as if I am going mad, for you see, these visions are about me, the Atlas, Tisiphone Orsilio, the House's previous Novator. I have seen Tisiphone's experiments, the ones that involved the navigators from the Satala branch, which she was rumored to have destroyed for disobedience. But the visions told me an altogether different story. One where the Satalas helped Tisiphone create the Atlas, and they vanished immediately after the experiments were done. Perhaps I can... No. I know I can find the way to the palace of the Atlas if I recreate Tisiphone's journey from my visions. A real palace, not the psychophysical illusion to which the Orsilio navigators now reach. I've always had the feeling that it truly exists in our reality. And now, I am absolutely certain.
I have recently been informed that House Orsilio will convene its Grand Council. Would it not be better to wait for such a thing to finish first?
I cannot shake a foreboding about that meeting in the uncorporeal palace of the Atlas. Troubling mirages have plagued my mind for many nights, voices calling and cursing name. And the more I use the Atlas, the clearer the visions become, the louder the voices grow, the further my power wane. I am certain that all of the House is experiencing the same, for all of us are connected. I can sense the fear. House Orsilio is doomed to perish in darkness should I fail to discover the reason why the Atlas is weakening. And that reason, I believe it is hidden somewhere in my visions of Tisiphone.
What makes you so sure you can find a way to this physical manifestation?
I saw her experiences, an epiphany in a dream. Just like my visions came to me on our travels through the warp, she beheld a planet hidden behind roiling warp storms. The world promised her immense power. And so she gathered the Satalas, her most devout followers, to go on a suicidal journey through the Tempest. I know not the details of what happened on that planet, but it was there that the Satalas sacrificed themselves for some kind of experiment. And it was there that House Orsilio obtained the Starway Atlas. For the first time ever, I have an opportunity to find answers to the questions my mentor so deftly avoided. Why did Tisiphone choose me? What is the Atlas? Is it true that our path is drenched in blood? Please, Sovani, do not snap this tautly drawn string of destiny, my destiny. I ask you to join with me in Tisiphone's wake. Journey with me to the distant star.
I swore to aid you, Lady Cassia, and that oath has not gone unfulfilled. I shall help you with this as well.
Cassia breathes a sigh of relief, but the look in her ruby eyes quickly darkens. The house is still watching me, both the renegades and the loyalists. I doubt that any of them will agree even to a brief armistice for the sake of learning the truth of the Atlas's origins, and I do not wish to see House Orsilio lose even one more life of our kin to another fratricidal skirmish. No. I shall go after the answers about our past on my own.
Then it is best that we go alone.
Thank you for your understanding, rogue trader.
Cassia's shoulders relax a little.
And now permit me to take my leave. I must start preparing for the journey. From what I've been able to glean, we should first travel to the...
Her ruby red eyes widened in astonishment.
The Orsilio prophecy system. Huh, odd that. Could it be that the historical records are lying, and Kaelin Orsilio is not whom the star system is named after? Either way, that was the system from which Tisiphone embarked on her journey. We're going to follow in her long-forgotten footsteps.
I don't even remember the last time I came up here. What else have we got? Ooh, it's put more trophies in here. Oh, shit. Talos paint engine creation of the deranged minds of the Drukhari homunculi, twisted sculptors of flesh. Yep. Is that a Drukhari sword? Yep. They're taken from enemies during the defense of Dargonis. Nice. I sometimes forget that that stuff is even up there. Well, I guess Euphrates 2 will have to wait, because we want to get this done. Also want to... There's this event in here. Hello, what are you? Huh. All usual noises on the bridge cease when the shadow of a gigantic void ship, seemingly appearing from nowhere, sails past the stained glass window. It seems forlorn. The hull is tarnished, the lumens are dead, and the windows are broken and shrouded. The auger crew can't recognize the signature of its silent engines. They only manage to shed some light on this decrepit hull and make out the faded name of the cruiser, the Queen's Lament. The Voxmaster reports breaks the somber silence. You received a Voxcast from the dead void ship. Accept the signal. Vigdis conducts a full Vox system check and reports that the communications are in order, even though only eerie, unnatural silence can be heard through the Vox. Worried murmurs sweep across the bridge. The officers are certain you've encountered the voice ship of the old ghost stories, the Queen's Lament. It has appeared countless times in all corners of the Imperium. Like a ghost, it manifested out of nowhere and just as mysteriously vanished in the darkness of space, taking with it all those who dared to board. When it's so cute, in one of the early stages, Cassie does this strange temp building connection where she meets you in her office after a jump, essentially just lifts off her interest while rolling back and forth with her toes. Wait, seriously? You're not shitting me. Like, she literally does like the whole anime girl moment kind of thing. That's both adorable and just strangely bizarre that it happens in a 40k game. What the hell? Queen's Lament. Yes, you've heard that name before. The void ship was destroyed by Xenos in one of the most violent battles of the Expanse nearly 3 millennia ago. They say that its captain was a devout and vengeful man. We'll do the stupid thing. Send scouts aboard the void ship. The shuttles carrying the soldiers dock with the Queen's Lament without impediment. During the disparate blueprints of the other Imperial cruisers, the scouting party sets out to the bridge, following the dark, unpowered corridors, yet are somehow retaining oxygen and gravity. The nervous voice of the operator erupts through the Vox. The crew are still on board, but what's this? Blurry silhouettes of people with torn off limbs, cut open bellies, and twisted faces are materializing and vanishing all around them. In ghastly flashes, the ghost prompts the unwelcome guests they will stay on board the Queen's Lament forever. Raising his voice to shout, the operator reports that his comrades are already dead, and soon it will be his turn. The augurs are telling you a different story. All of the scouts are alive and still moving forward. Order the operator to pull himself together. Soldiers must be prepared to face even the most horrifying of space horrors. They are not real. An anxious prayer to the Emperor is whispered over the Vox. For a moment, the operator falls silent and suddenly returns, mumbling excuses about his imagination playing tricks on him. His comrades are still walking ahead of him, alive and well, and the void ship looks completely empty again. Ancient courtship ritual she's read in books, like dropping her handkerchief and expecting you to pick it up, put it against the lips, and hand it back. Oh god. So yeah, she does. She's literally, her only experience with romance is through either trashy novels or like old school style Victorian style romance. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. After a few minutes of silence, a child's cry can be heard through the Vox. The stuttering operator reports that friends and family of the members of the scouting party are now blocking the way. The friends and family who've all been taken by death. The soldier confirms that they're not seeing ghosts, but living people made of flesh and bone. The soldiers are begging the rogue trader to let them talk to their loved ones for a moment. Remind the soldiers that it is impossible to cheat death. These visions are the product of some kind of dark power. The scouts begin to argue. The unintelligible quarreling abruptly stops, and after a few minutes, the operator anxiously gives his report. As soon as the squad is split up, the ones who decided to stay with their loved ones are swallowed by the darkness of the empty deck and vanished. Half an hour later, the Vox again comes to life. The operator flatly reports that the scouting party has reached the bridge. The cogitators are broken, so extracting any data from them is impossible. The scouts have found a strange object in the captain's chair. They can't describe it, only saying that this shouldn't be here. In an unusually flat voice devoid of emotion, the operator completes his report. The way to the bridge took 16 hours and 41 minutes. The soldiers are exhausted and would like to rest for some time. Confused, Vigdis notes that only a half hour has passed inside the Queen's Lament. Order the squad to retrieve the object and withdraw immediately. The Voxcast stops abruptly, and a few minutes later the scouting party shuttle leaves the Queen's Lament. The void ship itself dissolves in the darkness of space. The shuttle arrives carrying a single passenger, the operator, clutching a strange parcel. The young man's hair has turned white after the time spent on the cursed vessel, and he's lost the ability to speak. His story and rumors of what happened to the other scouts will live on for many years in hushed whispers across every deck of your ship. Did we even get anything for that? It said he came with a parcel. Sort by date from newest to oldest. Unholy relics. Gets a 20 bonus to coercion and a -5 penalty to intelligence. So literally worthless. We lost a dozen men's lives for nothing. Well, thanks game. I should have known. Should have shot the damn thing when I saw it. Alright, we can finally do this event. The augur operators return to the Blessed Optics towards the very epicenter of the raging magnetic storm. In spite of the thick haze of static covering the augur's pick visor, something unexpected happens. The augur crew detected signs of life under the planet's surface. There in the caves is a man-made complex. According to the ship's archives, this world is uninhabitable and devoid of useful resources. The presence of someone's base seems intriguing. Send a team to explore it. The enforcers disembark next to the suspicious cave. The entrance to the cave turned out to be blocked by a massive plasteel door, once pierced by your melta-charge, then shoddily patched up. By a melta-charge, then shoddily patched up. Within, an ambush awaited your team. Attackers with emaciated bodies pounced from the darkness without warning. The enforcers of the Von Valesius dynasty reacted with lightning speed. They walked away from the vicious battle not only victorious, but having captured one of the enemy's commanders. While a shuttle brought... While a shuttle brought the prisoner aboard the Lord Captain's void ship, scouts searched the base and found a vast hall, the walls of which were dotted with cryovaults. All but one were disabled and contained the remains of some prominent people, judging by their clothes. The last cryovault was open and stood empty. Ooh. In addition to the curious machine destroyed during the battle, as further inspection would show, this was the very contraption responsible for creating the magnetic storms blanketing the planet, concealing the cemetery from prying eyes. Its machine spirit extinguished forever, the tech priest still managed to extract those parts that held value. Examine the cryovaults. The tech priest sent at your command have reported that the machine spirits of all the cryovaults are healthy and obedient, excepting the one living within the open sarcophagus. This machine spirit is in terrible condition and afflicted by great madness, muddying its algorithms. Interrogate the prisoner. Under torture, the bastard confessed to belonging to the cult of St. Drusus. He and his brothers and sisters were tasked with guarding this strange cemetery and preventing anyone from entering. He equally could not hide that the unfortunate inhabitants of the cryovaults were killed by his people. Alas, that was his last confession as the harsh interrogation finally took its toll. Strange. Why would the cult of St. Drusus be doing something like this? Huh. Something is up with them. So the machine spirits that were perfectly functional had dead bodies in them, but the machine spirit that was corrupted was open and had seemingly done its job. That is not good. That seems very, very not good. Oh, that is the Orsilio prophecy system. All right. So we go here first, right? That was what Cassia was saying? Right? Why is nothing... what? Smaragdus Mundus. So it's not the Orsilio prophecy system? But she said it was the Orsilio prophecy system. I'm confused. Hold on. Emperor Frozen Palace. Oh, this is a new system. Ah. Oh boy. Oh dear. Entry A201 486610. Chronometer 10 chronometer turns since the incident. Witness Hide on 00110101. You claim that you left the Sanctum Navis on the Lady Navigator's orders. Affirmative. This unit acted in accordance with maintenance protocol TRN 08353. Step 1. Sense the sacred mechanisms for the duration of 15 chronometer turns. Step 2. You failed to inform the bridge about the imminent jump. I want to know why. Data unavailable. Lady Navigator ordered that she be connected to the Void Ship, but she did not order the preparation of the machine spirits for warp translation. Cause. Ritual that cannot be identified by this unit's capabilities. This unit received the command to interrupt protocol TRN 08353 and exit the Sanctum Navis. 30 chronometer turns since the incident. No, please, not the figures, not the figures. I'm gonna break every one for every word of a lie here coming from your mouth. Now speak. Please, you have to believe me. All we did was prepare the canvas and mix the Lady Navigator's blood into the paints. Then we were told to lock open the shutter so the Lord Captain could see everything that was going on inside the chamber. Inside the Sanctum Navis from the observation chambers like grok shit. Armor glass can't shield you from warp horrors. I swear upon my soul and the Golden Throne, Master Enforcer. The Lady Navigator only wanted to paint a picture for a ritual of some such. She wasn't going to use the power in her eye, but I still got as far away from there as I could. That is all I saw. 50 chronometer turns since the incident. We performed an emergency warp jump, barely activated the Geller field in time, and are now being dragged to throne knows where by an unknown force. The Lady Navigator and the Lord Captain are still unaccounted for. Now tell me one more time what happened in the Sanctum Navis. I escorted the Lord Captain to the observation chamber and yelled at the servant for leaving the shutters open. But then I was told it was the rogue trader's orders. We could see the Lady Navigator clearly through the armor glass. She was lost in thought, staring at the canvas. She looked like she was completely unaware of the world around her. The servants were ordered to leave the sanctum, and the Lady Navigator picked up her brush. In trance, she just started dragging it across the canvas, painting one thing, one image after another, and then another, and then one over the other. And then the Lord Captain noticed it. There was a thing on the other side. The picture, covered in a layer of fresh blood, was coming to life, but the Lady Navigator was oblivious, and that was when... You got a night... Of course Okay, Tenwen, okay. I think we're seeing that you really do like Cassia. We get it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like Irlet's proportions in her art as well, but honestly, yeah, it's surprising that it's sticking out that much with how much frickin' draped cloth she has on her body. But I guess that's just the way of things. Called out to Lady Cassia. Startled by the Lord Captain's cry, the Lady Navigator answered. That's when I realized that the armor glass between us and the Sanctum Navis was just gone. The thing in the painting, it broke free. I will point out nice booties. Okay, fair enough, man. You know what you like. You know what you like. And what happened next, soldier? I barely remember a thing. There was a bright flash, a purple blur. I remember feeling so scared my knees were shaking. I remember my legs just carrying me away like they had a mind of their own. I ran and I heard screams. The Lord Captain, Lady Cassia, and oh God, Emperor the creature. They pulled them both inside the painting. Sir, Mistress Voxmaster, I have a report that needs to be delivered to the senior officers. The Lord Captain and the Lady Navigator were lost during the emergency warp jump. Their whereabouts are still unknown. I'm sending you the interrogation reports. End of recording. Tisiphone Orsilio's ritual did not go as planned. The warp disturbances triggered by the Lady Navigator's trance washed over the Sanctum Navis. The Void Ship's machine spirits reacted to the surge of the immaterial and interpreted it as a call to action. The emergency jump into the unknown began. Amid the shrieks and sirens, the clanging of shutters, and the distant hum of the warp engine, some unknown will pulled the Lord Captain into the Sanctum Navis, towards the creatures from the living canvas that already grasped the Lady Navigator's throat, horrified, almost out of breath, struggling to scream. Cassia reached out her hand and began slowly sinking into her own painting. Grabbed the Lady Navigator's hand and attempted to pull her out. The Lord Captain pulled the Lady Navigator closer. After a while, the creatures eased their onslaught and Cassia crashed into the Lord Captain, knocking him off of his feet. The Lord Captain felt a sharp pain in his side as Cassia's cogita brush pierced his flesh during the fall. A moment later, Cassia was sucked into the air and pulled inside the cabinet. Instant later, the rogue trader himself was pulled into the depths of the world the Lady Navigator had created. Savani Di Firenze awoke, finding himself in the middle of a gigantic, boundless, billowing nothingness. His body felt weightless, floating in a void strewn with hundreds of the Lady Navigator's colors, some bright, warm, and alluring, others morose, cold, and heavy. Closed his eyes and remained adrift in the weightlessness. Savani stayed in the ocean of nothingness, devoid of sensation or emotion, until a persistent pulsation in his right side reminded him of a world that seemed more real than this one. Someone's scream broke the delicate equilibrium of the Lord Captain's motionless body, and the weightlessness released him. He plummeted into the maroon abyss of roiling illusions, but was now in full control of his body again. And then the Lord Captain descended into the dark abyss towards the screams. Lord Captain crashed from an immeasurable height to the bottom of a roiling abyss, and in the next moment he saw two figures amid the billowing maroon mist. One of the figures, unnaturally gaunt and tall, clutching the other, smaller one in its claws, screaming furiously. The Lord Captain peered into the strange maroon mist. In the strange mist all around him, Savani Di Firenze could make out human faces stricken with torment. No, not just human faces. There were Xenos, Eldari, and others, their features fused together with those of humans, making the Crimson Spectres look all the more abominable. Their gazes and their rage directed at the two unmoving figures facing each other. And yet at the same time, the vast majority of these figures have a third eye, so these aren't just humans, these are navigators. The Lord Captain drew closer. One step was all it took for some unknown force to notice the Lord Captain, to seize him, to drag him through the painting's twisted space. Now the Lord Captain could clearly see the dark shade of the long-dead navigator leaning over Cassia, clutching her neck in its clawed fingers. The shade screamed, "You were given life because of me. You survived because of me. And here you are now because I have willed it. Bow before me. Tell me what I wish to hear and your suffering will end. Go on, child. I have waited for so long. You will submit to me." Cassia looked exhausted, her body covered in hundreds of thin cuts, her lips lacerated and claw marks clear on her cheek. But there was still a steadfast resolve in her eyes. "I know who you are, Tisiphone Orsilio. I know what you crave. I saw it in the visions that you sent me again and again, and I will not allow it. I will never allow you to become me." Cassia's fatigued voice quivered, but she was not about to yield in this battle. Urged the Lady Navigator to fight this monster to the bitter end. The Lord Captain's words attracted not just Lady Cassia's attention, but Tisiphone Orsilio, finally noticing the presence of a living creature in their bizarre world, turned to face the interloper and lunged forward, seething with rage. But even as the entity's claws were but millimeters from the rogue trader's throat, Cassia opened her navigator's eye, and a wave of unbridled, unfiltered warp energy obliterated Tisiphone's specter before she even realized what was happening. The Lady Navigator graced the Lord Captain with a tired smile. The abortive ritual had turned out to be a trap set for Lady Cassia by the previous Novator of her house, but the rogue trader had ensured that her plan fell to ruin, and now it was time to leave this accursed place. Cassia would take the rogue trader's hand and guide him through the maroon mist out of the painting world. Their unconscious bodies would be discovered in the Sanctum Navis 20 Terran days after their disappearance, just as soon as the rogue trader's void ship emerged from the warp in an unknown system. Okay. Smaragdus Mundus. Ooh, purple star. Definitely no chaos corruption here, I'm sure. Burning World. Nope. I happened to read about burning worlds in Pandora. It said the fires there have been raging for close to a century, but no one knows how. How long has this one been burning? Poor Abelard casually and frequently getting heart attacks because the rogue trade system vanishing into theory. Yeah, I can only imagine that Abelard just had the second most nerve-wracking set of days he's had in a while. First, his family nearly gets indicted for treason and all executed, and now the rogue trader disappears for literally 2/3 of a month. God, Abelard was probably drinking heavily by the end of that. Where would Kamara land on that? Well, I mean, I took him with me to Kamara, so that was more of a hands-on experience. It's not like I was missing from Abelard's time for the most part, considering we weren't separated from our main group for that long until they dumped us in a fucking pit, basically. Alice of the Atlas. Drop off J. You know what? We'll bring... I'm tempted to either bring Irlit or Adira, because both of them tend to have interesting things to say about Cassia's condition. Ulfar wouldn't care. Argenta would just bitch and moan about mutants, and Marazai would probably actively laugh. So, you know what? We're good on damage with my character. We're just going to go ahead and bring Adira. I want to see if she has anything to say about why is it... Oh my god, are you kidding me? I should have brought Irlet. I should have brought Irlet. I should have brought Irlet. I should have brought... Shit. Fuck. Can I load? Yes, I can. As I said, I try to avoid saves coming, but no. That's a goddamn Crone World. Are you kidding? Why doesn't it say Crone World? We're bringing Irlet. Holy shit, we need to... Okay, let's get everybody leveled up real fast. Ooh, additional AP. That's nice. Yay, no choices. Just everybody gets a free AP. Thank God. Oh, she's got 2. So we're gonna go ahead and... does she have any other skills that would be really good? I don't think so. No. We're just gonna grab Demolition then, because she's got high agility. Doesn't have any they can, but target with the same weapon if possible. Yeah, we'll go with Death Dealer. If that way, if she kills anything, she immediately gets another shot, which I feel is fair. Okay, hold on. Abelard and Heinrich's in the front. Me and Pascal in the middle. Irlet and Cassie on the back. Usual strategy with this.
I always keep my options open.
Okay. What in the hell did we stumble on? Ooh. House Orsilio need not know what is taking place here. The navigators are frightened enough by its power as it is. The last experiment left 3 from the Satala clan without a shred of reason. Empty shells will bring no glory to House Orsilio or its lesser branches. We carry on. At last, we managed to implant the artifact in subjects who can wield its power. Perhaps all the navigators who perished in the agonizing torment of energy were merely a symptom of our decline. I am tired of counting the dead. The weak have no place among those who have harnessed the Atlas. Their abilities have grown manifold and become significantly easier to control, more effective at resisting the ruinous influence of the warp. It is all or nothing. Today is the day when my work is completed and the Starway Atlas takes its final form. The Satalas have already undergone the operation. All that's left is me, the Atlas that controls them all. Today I become the greatest Novator in the history of House Orsilio, or I turn to nothing. The power is beyond compare. All it took was a whim to make the wretched Satalas fall dead at my feet. It is as if I have a second heart beating in my chest, subjugating any with the ability to touch it. How regrettable it is that this power only extends to those Orsilio navigators who have accepted a piece of the Atlas within themselves. From now on, all children will be gifted with one at their initiation. There will be no one who can match our greatness. Okay, so far it kind of just sounds like standard power-grabbing, power-mad bullshit. The heart of the Navigator's camp. This is where Tiffany Orsilio performed her experiments hundreds of years ago.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
But the fact that it's an Eldar artifact from the looks of it, that's not good. Something is not going to go right here. There's a barely noticeable imprint on a long clawed hand. Notable imprint of a long clawed hand on the broken cogitator screen. The Eldari sanctum is blemished by human presence. In their pursuit of ancient secrets, the navigators had no qualms about filling the ruins with machinery and supplies. Yeah, Irlet's not going to be happy about that one.
Nothing matters more.
What's down here? The Orsilio navigators left no stone unturned in this Eldari temple. It's as if they were looking for something that they could just not find.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Oh, plus 15 ballistic skill for elite marksman gloves. I mean, pretty straightforward, but also not as good as most other gloves.
Expected result.
Is there money to be made?
Alright, let's keep moving.
The Phaton system is lost to humanity. We have no way of stopping what Emelina started.
You are creating a gateway for the forces of Cylon Thrash, and you do so under the guise of helping humanity. Why? When seeking salvation from one calamity, do you turn to another?
Irlet's got you on that one, Heinrichs. Someone removed the data crypt from this dead machine to keep the House's secrets safe, and leave no information about the experiments that took place here. The money made our call. I'd imagine. Eldari chainsword, it can go to cargo.
Rise to
Doesn't
the
really
top,
matter.
or get left in the dust.
That is a statue of an Eldar Guardian. Oh, hello. What did we get? Did I miss? I think I missed that. You're kidding me. How does that make any sense?
My success was inevitable.
The ruined statues wants to pick pages from the long history of the Eldari. Can I... Hold on. Can I get back down here? There's a ladder right here. I should be able to get up to that then. Right? Yes. Okay.
Keep your wits about you.
Everybody up.
Just as I planned.
There we go. Pop that open. Plasma ring. Ring that fires a single plasma shot. Deals 30 to 45 damage and has 50% armor penetration. Now see, that's a ring that actually deals some damage. Grenadier's backpack. The wearer and their allies are immune to damage from the wearer's grenades. Ooh, nice. The first time the wearer uses a grenade during the turn, they have a 50% chance not to expend the grenade. Also very nice.
I always have a backup plan.
I have a crippling fear of using anything that is not renewable within a game, so I'll probably still never use grenades, but it's nice that they're at least trying to break my insane fucking mental condition. I do the same thing in Elden Ring. Collect all the items and then never use them. Oh, shit.
Halt, cursed child. We had to ally ourselves with the Xenos once more to stop you. No matter, a small price to pay for the liberation of House Orsilio from the chains of tyranny.
My dude, we were kind of here to not... Oh, great. Let me guess. The other... Yeah, the other members of House Orsilio. Of course. And now we need to somehow talk them down.
We followed the Atlas call in our wake, child. Stand with us. House Orsilio will not trade Tisiphane's legacy for the false ideals of blind fools.
Is that a giant spirit stone? Is that what the Atlas is? They've literally been implanting fragments of spirit stones into each other. Oh, which means that it's elven souls. The Atlas is literally crystallized Eldar souls. Oh my god, Irlet is gonna be so fucking pissed. Also, those guys just literally Oh.
Damned Xenos, this was not the bargain we struck. Thrones smite you.
The Navigator, whose skin is so thin that it reveals the muscles, bones, and innards underneath, clenches their augmented gold jaw in the contempt.
What is this? The rogue trader and the traders to the house have lured the child into a trap set by Xenos. I wish my eyes were deceiving me, but I can see clearly the great Regeneranto was right to send us after your vessel.
The sturdily built... Oh, that was a woman? Alright, well, whatever. Built woman is armed with a pistol, and yet there are signs of exhaustion in her posture. Her face is hidden behind a gem-encrusted three-eyed mask, and her elaborate Navis Nobilite vestments are stained with dried blood and other evidence of recent combat. I too wish to be enlightened about what exactly is happening here.
You will stop defiling the
Oh, this is the troop master talking.
You will stop defiling the remains of the hallowed ground of our ancestors with your semblance at our speech, Monkai.
The Harlequin's bright clothes glimmer faintly in the dim light of the system's star, and the sinister grin upon his mask only adds to his menacing and aloof presence.
The final act will soon unfold, where you will pay for the deeds of your ancestors. Stay put and wait for the puppeteer to pull at your strings. Why are there Xenos ruins where the palace of the Atlas should be? Why is this place coated in impenetrable black mist? I'm suffocating.
Cassia clutches at her breastplate, near where the Atlas is embedded within her, her voice feeble and trembling.
Three-eyed Monkai who sees into Shail, the taint of your ancestors has begun to consume your body and soul. Pathetic fools with insatiable lust for power that is not yours. Ending your kind's misery will be merciful. Taint? You mean the Atlas? Xenos, traitor! Silence! The Atlas is the sacred relic of House Orsilio. It elevates us above the others. How dare you!
Yet Regent's envoy abruptly loses her breath with a groan, clutching her chest where her Atlas is implanted.
I refuse to accept this. It's impossible.
What exactly is this place?
We call planets such as this Crone worlds. They came long before my time, when the Eldari were of a united people whose empire stretched from one edge of the galaxy to the other. It is a world beneath the first stars, an unblighted world. I never thought I would come to find one. I have nothing to add to the outcast's words, other than my eternal astonishment at your curious troop, Monkai.
And what is this taint you speak of, Harlequin?
Do you not see it?
The Harlequin's voice booms throughout the ruined temple.
When you Monkai discovered this Crone world, you tainted it with your crude technology. You despoiled it of its relics, ruined all there was to the last stone. But worst of all, you sullied the souls of our ancestors reposed in their sacred vessel, the spirit monolith.
It is. It's a giant fuck-off soulstone, and House Orsilio has been using shards of it to enhance their power and bind the souls of their navigators together.
Oh my god, how fucking stupid do you have to be?
He points his thin finger at the remarkable crystal floating behind his back, and the Harlequins around you tighten the grips on their weapons.
Like a sea of bottomless blue.
Cassia looks around her with a stunned expression, her gaze shifting from one Xenos to the next.
I did not know that living things could exude such saturated hues. I wish I could paint this ocean a different color.
Examine the hovering crystal. The enormous translucent stone shares a strange resonance with this place. You can sense the energy emanating from it, mysterious, restless, coagulated. It resembles a giant heart that has been plucked from its owner's chest. Its crystal clarity is pierced by hundreds of dark veins that have taken root like a terrible sickness. And how exactly did the navigators of House Orsilio taint your spirit monolith?
Experiments.
Cassia covers her mouth in horror.
This is where she conducted her experiments, Tisiphone. No, it's not possible. To consort with Xenos is to violate the word of the God Emperor. It is known to all that Tisiphone Orsilio executed any who showed interest in the enemies of humanity. Is that so? Then why is it that every piece of metal or fabric in this place bears our house's coat of arms, you fool? Open your eyes!
Quiet. The Harlequin's tone is mild, but it is not a request.
I am unsurprised that the truth is hidden from your gaze, three-eyed Monkai, who see into Shail. I realized it the moment I met the first of you, wretched, begging us to help you destroy your own kin. I sensed it within you, our ancestors' call, their pleas, their torment. I knew that what you found was a Crone world, and so I humbly waited for the day you would lead me to it. What is the meaning behind your words, Altair, Troop Master? You know the answer already, Outcast.
You have always known. What is he talking about, Irillet? What have you always known? Irillet glowers at Cassia.
That is why. That is why your presence makes my soul shrink to the size of a river pearl and my throat choke in my collar as of thorns. Why your words seep into my soul like poison, leaving wounds that do not heal. There is a shard of the monolith within you, Monkai. Twisted, perverted, invigorating you by causing my ancestors to suffer.
Alas, you are right, outcast. The ancestors of the three-eyed Monkai sought to command the power of the monolith, and yet they suffered failure time and again. But eventually, they discovered a way to harness this power. A terrible way, torturous and unforgivable. They began to shatter the monolith into shards, to weaken the souls within, and then the Harlequin begins to tremble with fury. Then they place the shards of the monolith inside their bodies to empower their abilities.
I never wished to learn such harsh truths about my house.
Cassia buries her face in her hands, and you feel waves of despair spreading from her, which suddenly appears as fragile as glass. Neither Theodora von Valancius, my predecessor, or Tisiphone of Ocelio, yours, were infallible. That does not mean we are powerless to rectify the errors of our ancestors.
You only say that because you wish to soothe me.
She smiles faintly. The renegade navigator stares at Cassia in shock.
You are more than a tyrant's heir. You are a successor to a heretic, a betrayer of the faith. You must be destroyed for the good of the house. You and the Atlas, once and for all.
Oh, you think the solution's so easy, don't you, Monkai? When you die, your souls become captives inside the spirit monolith. This process is deranging to our ancestors who have served as the monolith's guardians for aeons, and it is equally agonizing to the souls of your own dead. And the more Monkai souls the monolith absorbs, the more volatile it becomes. The Eldari and the Monkai have spent many a dance battling for supremacy within the monolith. Its integrity is waning. I'm sure you all sense it too. The only way to free our ancestors from the pain is to separate the Monkai taint from the monolith. My troop is here to perform just that. We will all play our parts today, and when the final act of this age-long tragedy begins, the Monkai players will exit this world's stage. Sinister shadows dance upon the Harlequin's mask as he draws an unknown device from his sleeve. Let me see. Okay, we're not going to do with those. Lady Cassia is the inheritor of the one who bound the spirit monolith to the navigator's bodies. Please listen to what she has to say. She is not the woman her predecessor was. Cassia gives you a grateful nod and turns to the Harlequin troopmaster.
I cannot change the past, true. Nor can I change the fact that my house is forever tainted with the disgrace born of Tisiphone Orcelio's hubris. Yet all of us here today have the power to change the future and halt the unending suffering that is drowning both your kin and mine.
You suggest that the Monkai and the Eldari change future together? The Harlequin leans forward curiously. I must admit, my leading lady, I am confounded by your audacity. Go on.
My Atlas.
Cassia places a hand upon her gilded breastplate.
If you can free the phantoms of my house from the monolith, guide them to enter my Atlas. Their experience and wisdom will help steer House Orcelio onto the path of truth and allow future generations to avoid the calamitous pitfalls of our forebears.
Kai Morag. My leading lady, the shards of the monolith are lodged inside the chest of every Monkai bound to you by ties of blood. How do you intend to return them?
I shall use the Atlas to sever my subject's connection to the spirit monolith, and then I shall extract its shards from every navigator of House Orcelio. This artifact is implanted at birth, but that does not mean the ritual cannot be reversed, as I witnessed its creation through Tisiphone's eyes in my visions. Again and again did I live it over and over, through the memories of the Satala clan that she sacrificed. I can recreate the ritual that will return the souls of your kin to you and save my people's lives.
Seldom do the forces of mankind and those of Xenos get the chance to resolve our conflicts without slaughtering one another. I, as Sovane de Ferenzi von Valencius, head of the von Valencius Protectorate, second Lady Cassia's proposal. The Harlequin remains as still as a garish statue for several minutes, and then the mellifluous voice behind the mask says, "Fair, I'm willing to try, Monkai."
No, no! The Regent's envoy draws her pistol. I will not let you destroy the Atlas. Even if it is the child's wish, Lady Orselio, you are too young, too inexperienced. You cannot comprehend. You address the future Novator of House Orselio, one who has survived the massacre of Urak V, who lived following an attempt on her life at the Palace of Dargonis. I, who has restored her house's ability in what scant time she has been free, while you, all of you, have spent years destroying us from within. You address one who has passed through the tempest of the Sea of Storms to the true Atlas as the ally of a rogue traitor, yet still you call me unworthy? Young, inexperienced? Kneel before me and I shall forgive you your insolence. House Orsilio was always loyal to Novator Tisiphone, and henceforth I will be loyal to her successor, even if you see fit to lead us down a different path, my lady. The navigator's voice trembles with reverence. Are you done with your performance, Monkai? Then stand aside and do not interrupt.
Honestly, kind of surprised we managed to do this without bloodshed, but the last time I said that, somebody suddenly started shooting at us, so maybe I shouldn't be so hasty.
I can feel it again. The tranquility. The ancestral souls have found their peace. Corruption no longer endangers the monolith or this world.
The Harlequin's narrow shoulders look surprisingly and completely relaxed.
Do remember our agreement, Cassia Orselio. We will soon meet in this place again, so that you can give us the shards you owe. And now, all of you, be gone from our world, Monkai.
Let us not dawdle.
Well, let me just grab up the loot and we'll be out of your way. Wow, they actually brought guards with fucking bolters. Alright. Shit, they were ready to go. Yep, these guys all brought las guns. Is there anything? Yes, there is. Wait a second, there's still more. Why is there still more? Yeah, more bolters. Okay, well that surprisingly worked. You've played your part well, Elantok. The performance is ended. Now leave this stage and never return. The purified monolith shines like a guiding star, and waves of calm and relief wash over the hearts of those who step close.
I always keep my options open.
What else have we got here? There's still some more things. There we go.
There was a time when I believed that I would lead my house to prosperity. In truth, fortune and blessings have long since been passing us by, as if the Corrodus Expanse itself is trying to oust the Orsilio children from its bounds. Nothing changes in the near future. All of us will wither like night flowers at dawn, or face our ultimate fall. Upon my word, the Sea of Souls itself must favor me. During the last jump, I saw into the eye of a vicious storm, and within it, amid the ruins of a Xenos world, was a treasure, mighty and dangerous, not unlike our own power. I found a way to reach it. I drive away the memory of our journey and the cost that our house suffered. The ritual alone was no matter. The goal will be worth the price, and due effort is all that is needed of us. By the grace of the Emperor, we made it through the terrible tempest, but the Eldari ruins appear to have dampened the crew's spirits. Pitiful commoners talk too much. Tensions in the camp are rising. I should cut out the tongue of those who witnessed the first experiments. This information cannot be allowed to reach the ship. No, not just them. I shall have the Satala clan duck the tongue of every lowborn. Ah, yes. So literally all the things that Cassia knew as far as like her house's practices regarding common people was all Tisiphone just covering her tracks. That is an Eldari hero who created a 100 world and twice as many stars. Interesting. Anything on this side, Goose? Yes, Lorzinos stuff.
Too hard for a simple monkey?
This was a piece of an altar from an ancient Eldar that the ancient Eldar used for some long-forgotten ritual.
I've learned much in my exile.
The Eldari's gods once walked among them, teaching, guiding, protecting them from harm. There were no boundaries between mortal creatures and their patrons.
Rise to the
Ah,
top,
yes, the
or get
Eldari
left in
pantheon.
the dust.
Unfortunately, the perpetual punching bags of the 40k universe. Hell, even their fantasy equivalents got off better than they did. Oh, you had to kill them all, Tenwin? Well, then I'm kind of glad I'm doing pretty good on all of this, as far as the Iconoclast is running. We're doing pretty well. Let's get the hell out of here. We've got a little bit longer, so we should be able to get to... Euphrates 2 and get that started. Yes, we've seen this event before. Yep, 3 experience points. That's really all it comes down to. Okay, now we jump to Adamat. Then to Tenebris. Then to Nova Septum. Oh, don't do this shit again. Oh, that's what I get for having started this shit. You created a new warp route, which means I've got to use this to bring it back down to something that's such a waste. Such a waste. Yes, we've seen this. At least nothing exploded and nobody died. Well, nobody important died. Alright, welcome to Euphrates 2. Let's find out how bad this is gonna go. Lord Captain, the united corps of the Explorators and militia forces is ready to attack the heretics who took over Euphrates 2. The commander recognizes the Lord Inquisitor's sanction and is to cede the right of supreme command. They ask that you summon a council of war in order to establish a plan of attack. How should we respond? No. Summon them to the bridge. We shall hold a war council. Consider it done, your lordship, and will notify the commanders that you are ready to meet with them. Should have Ulfar there, considering the Space Wolves are apparently here. I think he would appreciate that. And we're waiting for the tech priest to waddle on up, because apparently he's taking his sweet-ass time. There we go. The leader of the Explorator warriors appears on the bridge. The deck trembles beneath his slow metal gait. He has acquired a new set of fearsome armor since the two of you last met, and his mechadendrites are now fitted with more formidable weapons of destruction. Unit Opticon 22 initiating identification. Official greeting. Procedure. Unlocking the option of strategic data exchange. The Emperor's angel who follows in his wake is clad in armor the color of a tempestuous ocean. You hear his voice throaty and brimming with untamed boldness and strength. Which one of you Huskars is Savani di Forenzi von Valencius? I am Thorvald Ironhide and wish to see the mortal who has been granted the honor of leading my pack into battle. You are looking at him. I am Savani di Forenzi von Valencius. It is an honor to meet you, Thorvald Ironhide. Thorvald takes the measure of you and nods in satisfaction. I know the habits of a warrior when I see one. You are no indolent yoke. Good. I give my approval. We will hunt the baseborn heretics together. You have not changed, Brother Thorvald. High-handed and brazen without measure. You carry yourself on another Drekker like it's your own. The wolf bursts into booming laughter and bares his long fangs. Such is the breed of leaders, Ulfar. We stand out. 'Tis you, Everlost, who cannot seem to fight his way when the sun is over his head. Another explosion of Thorvald's boisterous laughter drowns out Ulfar's stifled, yet furious string of curses. Opticon 22. How did you go from overseeing logistics on Footfall to commanding the armies of the Explorators? This command, promotion, hierarchy, status, update was executed following the death, decommissioning, deconstruction of the ship Teeth of the Wrathgear. Fleet's war conclave was operating aboard that vessel. Unit Opticon 22 received premature rank promotion modernization to Magos Dominus, based on his extensive catalog of recorded combat engagements. May your service benefit from the updated protocols that were bestowed upon you and the new analytical data that was entrusted to your elucidation. May the Omnissiah guide operate this unit in his cause mission algorithm of service to him. let us begin the War Council.
What good is another war council with a cog priest who knows not joy of battle, who cuts off his parts and replaces them with augments to please an all-knowing master? He will propose again a cowardly plan unworthy of warriors, as is the custom of his brethren.
Registering a display of impertinence, data insufficiency in regard to the military craft eradication methods of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh boy, this didn't take long for them to start bickering. Who's this? The head of the militia?
Are you having another fight, gentlemen? How predictable.
A woman in heavy armor walks into the bridge cloaked in an air of superiority. You remember seeing her before, in the retinue of Xavier Calcazar when he barged into your chambers after the Magni Acessio.
Thank you for not starting without me. Acolyte Ishara, dispatched by the Lord Inquisitor to facilitate operations on Euphrates II. My role in this war council is simply that of an advisor.
Heinrichs and Ajara exchange glances but do not say a word. You cannot help but notice the furrow that forms on the interrogator's forehead at the sight of his colleague.
Shall we begin our war council, or shall we wait for heretics to corrupt this planet completely?
Ashara, why exactly are you here?
The Lord Inquisitor entrusted me with the task of forging an alliance between the assembled fleet and the forces of the Cognizance Force. Once this task is complete, I am merely to serve as an observer and special operative.
And what are your responsibilities as a special operative?
I'm afraid the Lord Inquisitor did not give me the authority to elaborate upon such a matter.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have any audio, I don't have any audio overlays that I can quickly switch to or even know how to use to do that. So I try to put a little bit of tone in their voice that's a bit different. For Opticon, the thing I decided is every time he does those little dash marks, I change up his voice completely because it's like he's inputting different parts of his speech in, which I thought was a nice touch. I mean, I could just start saying 0111000111001111 instead of actually reading their dialogue, because that would be kind of how it would sound in Baneric. It would be complete gibberish, but it would still technically be Baneric.
There is no surprise in my heart. The Inquisition is, as always, too ashamed of its deeds to reveal them to honorable fighters.
Thorvald makes a show of spitting on the floor. And why did Calcazar choose you?
I happen to have some experience with large-scale bloodshed, Rogue Trader. That and I never failed to deliver results.
What troops can you spare to reinforce our army?
The militia forces have already been transferred to Opticon 22. All I have left under my command is a tactical unit explicitly instructed to carry out the Lord Inquisitor's special assignments.
Understood.
Now, let us move on to discussing how we intend to kill the heretics.
I need a full report on the situation at the front first.
Euphrates II is a forge world. Manufactorums and extracticums take up most of its surface.
Upon corrupting them, disrupting their production algorithm,
the heretics enhance their ranks with possessed mechanisms and
false, defective, traitorous
Skitari whose protocols were disfigured with indoctrinating scrap code. Our forces have secured minor footholds on the surface, but are unable to deliver an effective blow to the
headquarters operations center
of the profaners within the Machine Cathedral at the heart of Manufactorum Sigma S13. According to available data, it is the current location of the
arch-heretic termination target,
the Dark Apostle Urlon the Cruel.
We may outnumber the enemy, but ours is a poor warband. All it has is steel curls of the Omniscience, scantily trad serfs from across the expanse. Our foe is the detestable, but nevertheless deadly putrid-hearted traitors from the ranks of the Word-bearers, and their vessels protect the Machine Cathedral from direct bombardment from orbit.
Quite well, considering his lore of having multiple personalities. Yep, I will admit, I take some inspiration from the Emperor's text-to-speech device in the way they did call in their last couple of episodes years ago, where he would just randomly shift between voices. At least for Opticon. None of the other tech priests have really had that same kind of verbal tick, so I think it just fits with him. Plus, he's the only other one I think we've run into that has had a portrait, so it felt appropriate to give him a slightly different voice. And why exactly have you not begun to commence the planetary assault?
There is a conflict,
critical error, categorical lack of understanding of the imperatives of this operation within our chain of command. Oh, I messed up that one. Oh well.
Unit Thorvald Ironhide is in favor of the strategy of mass destruction, which would constitute an unacceptable violation of the right of operation.
Every square meter of the manufactorums is sacred, of high productivity value.
Which is why the Cog Priest is so intent on hindering and sabotaging our assault by refusing us forces and landing Drakars. But Thorvald Ironhide won't fight on the terms of the priest.
If my battle plan is rejected, the Omnissiah's servants can retake the planet themselves. Maybe they think their lives mean nothing compared to their precious cathedrals, but a wolf knows what his life is worth. Opticon 22, speak plainly. We've known each other a long time, and my curiosity is piqued given our interactions in the past. The explorators are hiding something on that planet, something you refuse to show anyone, and are now loath to destroy it. What is it? The tech priest Vox creaks stubbornly.
Request denied. The Omnissiah's
mysteries, procedures
conducted on Euphrates II are to remain undisclosed according to the protocol vow of preservation of the hallowed from the profane.
This is why on Fenris we have the priests follow the warriors, not the other way around. The priests never think about the battle ahead, only the tenets and taboos. But a wolf thinks only of the battle and his enemy's death, not about preserving a cathedral or counting the trophies that await them. Opticon 22, present your plan. How do you propose?
Our strategic analysis points towards full-scale offensive as the optimal course of action. The losses among the
troops, insignificant personnel, laity
will be numerous but will not exceed acceptable parameters. Replenishing such losses will be less arduous than preparing the damage that may otherwise come to our manufactorums.
And Thorvald, what is your suggestion?
Rain down vengeful skies upon them. Plow the earth of Euphrates II with shells, shatter their defenses, level the towers, and throw them into disarray. And in that whirlwind of fury, I will lead my glorious pack to pave a path of blood for the Cog Carols.
Well, I've heard your opinions.
Choose your strategy wisely. It's not every day you get to heed the advice of a seasoned warrior, one chosen by the All-Father himself to bring death to the foes of humanity.
I take it the two of you have not been getting along very well.
You read hearts like they're inscribed with runes, Savani di Ferenzi.
Thorvald lets out a mocking chuckle.
'Tis true, my brothers and I grow tired of the cock priest and his naysaying. For whatever reason, he thinks himself our lord.
I concur with this statement given that the
military action, sacred purgative crusade, eradication procedure
is taking place on a world devoted to the machine god. Unit Opticon 22 insists on privileged status in the matter of strategy selection.
So that might get us both of them. That's to convince Opticon to go with his plan, and that is to convince Thorvald to go with his plan. We're going to go with this one.
Heresy runs rampant across the fields of Euphrates II.
Its people suffer, its manufactorums are corrupted, and its vast arsenals are turned against the Imperium, and here you two are, bickering and wasting your strength upon it. If that is your path, then you are nothing but fools. Thorvald's face turns purple, but he cannot actually come up with a retort. Opticon 22 lowers his head repentantly and lets out a barbaric trill. Neither of them can find the words to rebuff your pointed accusations. I shall now present to you the plan for our assault upon Euphrates II.
The first step is obvious. We eliminate the Machine Cathedral's orbital support. But what planetary assault strategy will you choose following the destruction of the enemy Void Fleet?
We will begin by bombarding enemy positions. Once we've secured orbital dominance, we will be able to deliver pinpoint strikes and land our artillery forces wherever we wish. We will then advance cautiously. We will conserve our troops and spread carefully across the surface.
Your plan bores me. This is not the Space Wolves' way of war. But such cowardly strategies are the limit of the Omnissiah's Cog Carols, so I will approve. My pack will do all that is asked of it, and will stand at the vanguard. Until we meet upon the field, Sovani.
Thorvald looks at Ulfar with a smirk.
And I say the same to you, Ulfar Everlost. 'Tis a pity your pack will not share in this glorious victory with us.
Ulfar lets out a bestial grumble and says to you,
That boastful Grishoff talks too much about my pack. He knows where my brothers are, I can smell it. Before we dive into the carnage, summon him to your ship and let me question him. I wish to hear what he knows. while he still has not lost his blathering tongue to heretics.
Strategy confirmed as optimal. Updating all Skitarii tactical programs. Transmitting Unit General
Blessing authorization for offensive action.
The Lord Inquisitor will be delighted at the news that some semblance of order was established. I wish you luck, Rogue Trader.
Ugh. Okay, so I guess we talk to Ulfar? Yeah, we should talk to Ulfar now, I guess. Anything for me, Vigdis? Nope. No, what the hell? What is this? Spirit of the sharp-sighted omniscope can reveal the dim light of distant stars to one who has the courage to plot a course to unexplored systems and illuminate the darkness within. Speaking of which, Cassia, do you have...
How nice of you to grace me with your presence. I was just thinking back to our journey to the Palace of the Atlas. That is, to the world of Xenos. Remembering that most reckless act has enveloped my mind in a whole palette of hues. But when I think of the great risk you took for House Orselio's and my own sake, an azure shawl instantly descends on my shoulders, and amber sparks flash inside my soul. Please accept my sincerest gratitude.
So now you are the full-fledged Novator of House Orselio.
You of all people should know that succession is a lengthy and tiresome process. While my entire house is busy preparing for a grand council at which I am to ceremonially inherit the late Tisiphony's title, I have decided to remain by your side, to relish just a little more of this carefree liberty. For as soon as I am summoned to do my duty, we must say our farewells.
And what awaits the navigators of your house now, Lady Cassia?
The Xenos have managed to free the souls of our ancestors from their confinement. The memory and wisdom of those that came before us will serve our house, helping build upon the ruins of the present a firm foundation for generations to come. I believe in that, as I believe in the divine light of the Emperor.
So now the entire power of the Atlas is within the Novator's hands.
I suppose so, if by power you mean priceless knowledge. As for the special powers granted by the Xenos souls, the navigators of House Orselio will once again have to contend with their own bodily and spiritual limitations. However, I am undaunted by the prospect, for our line and our gene have never been weak. House Orselio will succeed, and soon we will rise again, draped in white and gold. Of course.
That's about it.
I have enjoyed your company.
Alright, Ulfar, now you wanted to talk too, didn't you?
Broke free the bold from captors grasping. Dark cities, feeble dungeons, eternally disgracing. Flows now this saga in the hall of glorious feasting, where all extol the wolf mighty and the yet fatter cunning.
It just occurred to me. I don't think I've talked to him since we got out of Kamara. I now feel very dumb.
I hope you're not
Oh,
going to put
maybe
off
I
the
did.
feast. Our escape demands a grand celebration.
Yes, I did? Ah, okay, whatever. Why do you wish to meet with Thorvald?
If anyone knows where my pack brothers are now, he does. But it is not right to speak of such things within others' hearing. That is why I thought it better to keep silent at the War Council.
Alright. I'll have Vigdis inform Thorvald that he's invited to board the ship.
I thank you, Ed Fatter.
Oh, he brought another one with him. Thorvald has not come alone, but with a young brother in arms. With a mocking glance at Ulfar, he bows.
Thorvald Ironbane is here. Why have you summoned me, rogue trader?
Yeah, and another one. Oh boy, there's 3 space wolves on my bridge. Either this is going to devolve into a brawl or they're going to start drinking.
Speak to me.
Ulfar's usual brash joviality has evaporated from his voice.
Know you, Thorvald, whither the path of battle has led my pack? The baleful howl.
That is true. One often leads to the other with them.
You haven't lost your pack, have you, Everlost?
The young wolf's voice is strong and insolent, and richly melodic. He tilts his head in mocking concern, watching Ulfar's complexion change to match the violet shade of his hair. Why do you call him the Everlost?
You do not know? I'm not surprised. Brother Ulfar does not care for his moniker. He had it since his early days in the chapter, when Ulfar underwent his trial of the Cup of Wolfen. He went so much longer than the others that the rune priest gave him up for lost. Later, he received grievous wounds in a raid that sent him into stasis sleep for a long time. Anytime we would pay a visit to the Baleful Howl, we would ask, "Where is Brother Ulfar?" And he is always resting. And recently he went missing altogether. Lost after an attack on Xenos.
Thorvald grins mockingly, his long fangs glinting.
And not forget to tell of dire curse of yore is laid upon the mighty Ulfar. No good death for him is fated, only to one day be lost, bereft of glory and honor.
Halbrand declaims the line so sonorously and powerfully that the bulkheads vibrate.
Any who cross his path let him regale and gladly. That proud warrior Halbrand Blatherskite, singer of rumors and tattler of tall tales, for he has glimpsed no worthy deeds in his short life.
Ooh, are we getting a flight? What is it called? When Norse it was something that Vikings did. The Norse would basically have a rap battle in rhyme. Flighting or something it was called. Are we going to get that? Because I suppose that's technically a fight by Space Wolf standards. We did not have a chance to talk properly at the council, and I also wish to meet you.
Ah, of course you do. Who would miss the chance to strike up a friendship with the illustrious leader of the equally illustrious Stormbiters? Go on, Halbrand. Recite the saga of my exploits, and make sure to include the landing in the Void Kraken's mouth. This is Halbrand the Brave, the most sonorous voice of my pack.
Thorvald nods at the tall wolf, who seems to radiate a proud vigor of a warrior.
I think you meant to say Halbrand the Braggart, no? For his verse often weave together truth with his own flights of fancy.
Ulfar smiles vindictively, with a viciousness utterly unbecoming of an angel of the Emperor. But now it is Halbrand's turn to blush. Thorvald chuckles.
Thank you for the correction, Everlost. I reckon we can do without the saga.
I kind of want to ask this, but they're both going to be like, what are you talking about? This isn't us being hostile to one another. This is just being space wolves. Are all wolves so hostile to one another? Is it something personal between the two of you?
This is only friendly nipping. If there was hatred between us, the walls of this glorious hall would have long since been painted with blood. Such is the warrior's nature, a wolf's nature. When we meet with strength, we test our teeth on it.
Ulfar huffs a laugh in response.
But there is a personal side to it as well, for the Stormbiters have always tried to best the Baleful Howl in the glory of exploits. Tried and failed, for my pack was and remains superior.
Oh, they disassemble so sweetly, they would tear each other apart at the first opportunity.
Shut up, wretched captive.
Halbrand does not even dignify Marazai with a contemptuous glance. Yeah, I could see Marazai just sitting here right by the edge of here, his head just poked up over the edge like, do it, kill one another, do it, I want to see it, show me, kill one another, come on, do it.
He is not a captive, he is a rogue, one of the rogue traders, Hoskal.
Ulfar averts his gaze.
Hoskal? A fine squad you have found for yourself, Everlost.
Do you know where Ulfar's pack is now?
Feasting with the All-Father in the Hall of Heroes, I reckon, with Mjord filling their horns to the brim, as valor and loyalty did fill their hearts. Lies. Did you see their bodies? Which of the brothers will avow the truth of these words? The Ironhide never lies.
The young wolf's arm cuts through the air like an axe as he angrily points at Ulfar.
And you, Everlost, watch your tongue unless you want my dagger to deliver a penance of eternal silence upon you. No, we did not see the bodies, but we heard their ranting and raving, which can only lead to the jaws of Morkai.
Tell me the details.
In the battle in which you, Everlost, Arnulf, and Skadi were captured by the Xenos,
The rest of the baleful howl took prisoners of their own. Under torture, the captive Xenos gave up the coordinates of where they were to go next. Some important meeting. The place was far away, deep in the uncharted regions where the servants of the Allfathers have never ventured. Your brothers decided to go there. No navigator would dare lead them to those dark places, so your brother seized a trading boat and voyaged there without a helmsman.
So you abandoned them to their grueling march?
Ulfar's voice drops into a menacing rasp.
Lower your hackles, brother. I urged them not to throw away their lives in vain. Nothing but death could await them among those malevolent stars. We all came here to serve the Allfather and repay our blood debt, not to die for naught. Or have you forgotten that, Everlost?
It's only suicidal, if I remember correctly, if you try to jump into the warp and you don't know the specifics of where you're going. It is possible. The Imperium does have trade ships that are specifically designed and have cogitators that allow them to jump from one system to the next. Literally they're usually ships that are used to travel between one, two, or three systems specifically. So like 3 systems that are nearby one another, the ship will have a cogitator that's advanced enough to make a very shallow warp jump between any one of those 3 systems, but nowhere else. So theoretically, if the Space Wolves on board can do all of the actual calculations of distance and spatial distortion and all that stuff to jump from one system to another, it's technically possible. As long as they don't screw up the numbers and as long as they don't try to jump too far, both of which are hard to determine in the warp. I guess the best way to put it is, it isn't inherently suicidal, but it's adjacent to it. It's theoretically possible. People have done it in the Imperium if they've lacked a navigator. They've been able to make short-range warp jumps to different stellar bodies in order to get back somewhere, but it's incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult, because the Imperium no longer has the ancient pre-Dark Age of technology cogitators that humanity once used for explicitly that purpose. I mean, the orcs don't even bother. They just turn on the warp field, and when they pop out of the warp, they pop out of the warp. If it's nowhere where they want to be, they just turn it back on again.
Ulfar, what will you do with this?
I will not test our friendship, Eidvater. I know that if I call upon you to go in search of my pack, I will take you away from important battles and the saving of the rest of your home in the Expanse. I will go alone to seek my brothers. But I will not abandon you in your hour of need. I owe you. When we have defeated your enemies, when the Expanse has been safeguarded, then I will leave you and follow their trail. That trail is bloody and has long since gone cold, Brother Ulfar. There is no need to add another body to its tally. As the leader of the Stormbiters, I would call you to our pack. Join us. Be a brother to us now.
Ulfar gives the peacefully smiling Thorvald a penetrating look, his face darkening, his voice dropping low to a bestial snarl.
Have you lost your mind, Thorvald?
Perhaps it is you who has lost his mind if you are daring to speak so insolently to the Ironhide.
Halbrand's insinuating tone is dripping with menace that even the drawing of a sword would not have made his threat any clearer. What makes you so certain they are dead?
When the baleful howl was setting off, we exchanged gifts, pack runes. Every 10th watch, a priest cast the runes and saw what fate they revealed. 50 watches after the baleful howl left, the runes showed naught but calamity. And 60 watches after they left, death. Since then, the runes have been voiceless. Their patterns hold no meaning. And that's it. Spirits can deceive you. Your priest was a little soft in the head and forgot how to read his runes. And for that you give up my pack for dead. Cowards. The runes do not lie, Ulfar. You know this. I know this. I am sorry about our brothers, but their fate is clear.
And why would you want Ulfar to join your pack?
He is still our brother. He should not be left to wander the galaxy in the company of ordinary mortals or alone. We wolves are sharp knives. We hone ourselves against one another. Without others, Ulfar will rust and grow dull. Be with us, Ulfar. We will take you in. Go to hell, Thorvald. They'll take you in there.
Thorvald, your associate too often speaks when no one has addressed him. Giving you a disgruntled look, Thorvald sternly cuts you off.
Where it concerns wolf matters, Halbrand will speak as he wishes. Do not forget that we are the chosen warriors of the Allfather, rogue trader. Treat us like servants at your peril.
Ulfar's eyes flash with fury.
And you will stop there, Thorvald, for this mortal rescued me from captivity and proved his valor. And I will not stand here and allow him to be disrespected. So you hold this mortal above your brothers? Being without a pack has turned you feral and stupid, Everlost.
Suppose Ulfar is right. If his loyalty to his brothers is so strong, then perhaps you should stop trying to antagonize him, Lord Ironhide.
You will stay out of wolf business, Lord Trader. I will not reveal the coordinates of the place to which your brothers traveled. Respect your alpha, Ulfar, and that is an order. You are too quick to call yourself my leader, Thorvald. Go and bark commands at your pups.
And who do you call pup, Everlost? Unlike your pathetic pack, we will soon go into battle and accomplish great deeds. But you, coward, you want to shirk your duty.
Ulfar and Halbrand's roars merge into a single word.
Duel.
Say nothing and do not interfere. A harsh shout drowns out the two other wolves who are ready to lunge at one another.
Quiet! Both of you. Have you forgotten where you are? Holmgang can only take place on solid ground, not on a boat. The void and the warp are treacherous and unfit to host a duel to the worthy. And secondly, I am still your superior, Ulfar. So I am not asking but ordering you to back up your chest beating with deeds. If the baleful Howl Pack is alive as you say, then let it march with the Stormbiters in the assault on Euphrates too. Let it display the valor all the stories tell of. Or will you stand alone for all your brothers, or have you gone soft?
The wolf leader's tone may be threatening, but you notice a sly glint in his eye. Ulfar, on the other hand, is growling furiously, with no matching twinkle.
We'll see about that. I will prove that the Stormbiters will never be a match for the baleful Howl. Eidvater, I must be at your side when you depart for the assault. Promise me that you will grant me this honor.
I promise, Ulfar. You have my word. We will march to battle together.
If you prove that your words carry more weight than a battle axe, I will tell you where your brothers went. If you fail, then you will submit.
Thorvald's lips curve into a superior smirk. And would you look at that? It's just got past the 3-hour mark, despite us having to start later, so we're just going to go ahead and save. We are a bit late, so I'm not going to bother with rating anybody today. I've got to get going. I hope you all have a glorious day. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for the support when we were having technical issues at the beginning of the stream. Thank you, Tenwin, for the constant chat updates on everything, and for the slight, well, not spoilers, but the slight lore information regarding other playthroughs. I'll definitely have to see some of those scenes when I get the chance. Also, which one was it? You told me what the video was. Let me scroll back up. Where was it? I can't find it. Where is it? The video you suggested. Where is it? I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? The Emperor once said, and Marzai makes a lactose-free latte. I will check those out before I head into work. I hope you all have a glorious day. I hope I can figure out what the hell happened with the bitrate and everything that was causing the quality issues. But we'll figure that out. I will see you all on Wednesday. I usually need to search Marzai lactose-free rotator. Hard to find otherwise. Understood. Thank you for the update on that, Tenwin. As I said, I'll do my best to find it. And hopefully it's as funny as you're claiming it to be. But that's going to be it for me today. I hope you all have a glorious day. I will see you all on Wednesday, same time as usual for more Rogue Trader. You all have a great one. Thanks again. Bye.